Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, Texas, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast. Wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands. Not more to say. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. There we go, who's gonna walk through the door? There just might be some tragedy. It's just having fun with a special guest. Time for Stage Select.
With special guest, Mike Fallek. And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus.
And I'm Justin Ham, I guess. Hi. We're here. Mike is here.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to talk about with him, but I do have a question for him.
Okay.
Mike, you lived in Boston. I need to ask a question that's going to sound dumb, but I need to know.
No such thing as dumb questions.
No, there is.
No, yeah, they're real. Yeah,
I know, but
there
I have to
is.
say that for cover because I definitely ask a lot of dumb shit.
No,
so
that's
go
fair.
ahead.
Is Boston well known for its coffee? A simple yes or no would do.
I mean,
He's thinking.
gut instinct, just to answer the yes or
Yeah.
no, is no. No, I'm gonna say
Okay.
that right off the rip.
Yeah. Okay.
But I had a brief thought of wait, am I forgetting some history thing? But I mean, gut instinct, the answer we want is no, absolutely
No.
not. No.
Okay.
Why
Chowder
not?
No,
and
just-
lobster rolls.
Just fair. Just zero context on that. Just wanted to know. Somebody I know was like, "Well, if we go to Boston, we should have a cup of coffee there because it's really good." And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't think that's a thing."
Now I will say this. This is not giving credit to this person at all, but
Yeah.
I will say my rec, if you do go to Boston, RE coffee, if you don't want to, because I know a lot of people want to go on a trip to get proven wrong. And that's a big fun way
Right.
to enjoy a trip. But
Indeed.
if you want to compromise on this trip, Boston does have some incredible donut places.
Okay,
And I
yeah.
say that not as being like a fan of donuts, but more of like just objectively fun places to go to get donuts. My
Okay.
rec and the local recommendation would be Twin Donuts,
Okay.
which
All right.
opens at 4 a.m. and primarily serves local laborers and truck drivers.
Do
So
they
you-
have a good? Can you get a good cup of Boston coffee there?
You can get, in my opinion, one of the best cups of coffee in Boston,
All
which
right,
is
all right.
this giant. If you go for an iced coffee with sugar and cream,
Okay.
they
all right.
will give you like. You know how like there's somebody who clearly makes really great fried chicken, and then like Popeyes exists, and they're like,
Right.
this is bullshit and not cultural.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts is to Twin Donuts as Popeyes is to like real Louisiana Cajun fried chicken.
Okay.
It is, you get it in two styrofoam cups as to help the environment the Boston way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they ladle in like a bunch of sugar.
Why not?
And then they squirt in all this cream, and then they put in something brown.
I like
and
squirting the cream.
You gotta squirt the cream. Julian, it was
Right.
actually about a few blocks away from where we hung out in Boston.
Okay. There you go.
It's a very, very cool place, very local place. You can get breakfast and a coconut donut, I would recommend.
Okay.
Iced
all
coffee and
right.
a coconut donut. That's Andrew Zimmern's order on Bizarre Foods,
There you go.
the Anthony Bourdain edition. So
There you
no,
go.
I mean,
Wait, Anthony Zimmerman or Anthony Bourdain?
Bourdain, Zimmerman, it's all just content you would watch because on demand didn't work so good.
Well, no,
Right.
So-
one's a smug asshole that I can't stand, and the other one just eats a bunch of exotic dick.
Which one is which is my big question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I think there's people who have the opinion of both on both, if I'm being honest.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, smug asshole, honestly, friends, I've read his books. Anthony Bourdain's a smug asshole.
Well, you got it. Yeah, that's.
Well, they died, so you know.
They did die, but
Yeah.
was it from?
but they
was
were a
it
smug
caused by-
asshole in life.
Was it caused by? Was it caused by smug assholeness?
I don't know.
I mean, they're both. I mean, that show about eating bizarre foods was wild. It's a wild show.
I was dating my first girlfriend when that show was like really like hot, and
Yeah.
she kept getting me to watch it, and I was like, it's really interesting to me that he's always eating just like exotic animal dick.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, he's not. And it was like every time that we would turn it on, he was eating like an exotic animal dick.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of good meat in it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just...
Can I ask a question about eating dick? Because I've thought
Nope.
about this for a
Absolutely not.
well, I'm gonna something
soft-locked
irrelevant.
him.
Yeah.
That's a plug.
That's a plug, isn't it? I'm gonna ask a totally separate question about.
No, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question.
Oh well, I'm not. I didn't have permission. I'm gonna ask.
No,
something
you
different.
do now.
Okay. My thing is like Fear Factor and all these horrible shows are like, and then you're gonna eat a bull testicle. It's like, okay, great. Like, obviously, I don't think I could eat. It's usually raw and like unflavored. And it's like, there's lots of foods that if I ate that, I would barf.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
especially while I'm like running around, like climbing ladders and ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna barf. Like, why has no one been like? And then Anthony, what's his name, Hans Zimmer on Bizarre Foods, like. He's like, oh, this is bizarre. Like, why can't they be like, okay, Hans, what's his name?
I actually don't know. It's Zimmerman is the last name. I forget the first name.
Okay, Invader Zimmerman. Go.
Invader Zimmerman. Yeah.
You're gonna go to like the most lit testicle joint out there, bro. They bring out like soy sauce braised, like fresh testicle. It's covered in like what? Surely somebody is dope at cooking testicle and dick. Why is it that all these shows are like, it's anus and it's gross? Like, where's like the star? It's like, this is a Michelin star rated restaurant.
Oh, no, to his credit, the Zimmerman stuff, like he was always going to like really like nice places that it was like it was tasty dick. It wasn't like, you know, raw.
Yeah.
It's my
like,
favorite yogurt place.
Yeah, it wasn't raw
What, on what?
flavored stuff.
Unflavored cock.
Yeah, like on Fear Factor, right? Like that was their thing, right? It's like, and you're right. It's like it could be like raw any type of meat, like it's going to be disgusting, right? It doesn't really matter
Mhm.
where it comes from on the animal. It's like you're eating like raw meat with no type of seasoning or anything. Like that's disgusting.
I recall a lot of underdeveloped countries, and here they eat dick. And, you know, like I recall a lot of that. So maybe I missed those episodes where he was like,
I think, you know, it's definitely like it's more of like the word, right? It's like, oh, it's like an animal penis, and it's like, I mean, it's like if it's cooked well and it's seasoned, I don't really give a fuck. Like, you know, I'll eat damn near any part of the animal, as long as there's like meat. As long as there's like meat to eat off of it, and it tastes good, I don't care. Like,
Julian, I'm getting real turned on right now. As long as there's meat to eat.
As long as there's meat to eat.
yeah.
Like that's like there's like Julian, like he's like oiled up and he's like standing on a staircase. Julian, you could do the porn version of Bizarre Foods. I have to be honest. We could film that and make a lot of money.
What does it entail?
What's the porn version of Bizarre Foods?
Well, but I think you in some crude way we could make you have a passing resemblance to Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Bizarre
not very
Foods.
difficult. I'm already bald and fat, so
Okay. So that's
Part one.
I mean, yeah. Basically,
you
if
just have
you're
to make me look short.
in the porn world, like if you have the same hair color, they're like, oh, that's a great Luke Skywalker for this. Like, you know what I mean? So you'd be standing by a staircase, 90s porn, early 2000s porn style, oiled up, you know, hip out to the side, and like a big, I don't know, raccoon penis. What's a funny penis?
That's a good one.
Okay.
As long as there's meat to
Okay,
eat.
you guys, you keep saying Hans Zimmer, and I was like, who the hell is Hans Zimmer? And
The
they're
No, I don't
composer.
remember the first name.
The
they're
composer
a
for
German
that, yeah.
film score
Yeah,
composer.
the composer for Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really remember names. It doesn't come up on the show as much, but I don't learn names.
Hold on, now
Unless they're,
I
like,
need to
people I
look
know.
because I'm.
What's the
I think
point of
is it Andrew Zimmerman?
that? Sounds right.
That sound food guy. Oh yes, okay. Andrew Zimmerman. Yes, okay. Yeah.
But it's scored by Hans Zimmer. Ours is scored by Hans Zimmer.
Okay, then that's fair. I'm
Yeah.
into that. Yeah.
Boom. That's
I
his
want to
thing.
hear Hans Zimmerman do a porn movie.
That'd be good.
score.
Yeah. All right.
Just use that Dark Knight, man. That's what
Is that the one he did? He did the Dark Knight one.
he did.
I mean, he
the
did a
Dark-
lot of stuff.
He did a lot of stuff. He's one of those people that you look up his IMDb and you're like, wow.
He did
this is
Right.
awesome.
Metal Gear Solid, right?
He did one of them. He did a few video games. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know which one.
MGS2, I
Now
think.
let's look.
He's cool. He's one of those guys. He was like the first person to have
Am I
an
getting him
electric
confused with someone
guitar
else?
at the Philharmonic, or like one of the. He's got some cool records like that.
He's
of
done
note.
Interstellar, Gladiator, Inception. Okay, he's that guy. F1.
He's the big
Lion
bass
King
guy.
in 1994. Pretty good. All right, pretty good. You
Yeah,
got
Hans
me.
Zimmer,
Dark
born-
Knight.
Oh, I'm
Born
sorry.
Elton
I'm thinking of
John.
Harry Gregson Williams. That's the guy who did Metal Gear.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Mission Impossible 2.
I just
Dark
learned
Knight
somebody.
Rises.
Oh, the guy who did the theme song to Lost also did one of those early, not so great gun porn games. Like either Army of Two or Black, or you know what I mean? Like,
When you said that, like Black was the first thing that came to mind.
I think he did. His name's like Paul Giamatti, and you see his name on every episode of Lost, and then it's also on.
I don't think it's
probably-
Paul Giamatti, but you know,
It's likely Paul
Different guy.
Giamatti who played.
it's like him. It's
It's-
like Paul Giamatti.
Paul-
Are we
it was
are we
Spider-Man's-
stereotyping just maybe a little bit?
It's
Okay, that's fair.
it's Spider-Man's the Rhinos, Paul Giamatti, who did the music for Lost.
I love that is your go-to for that actor. Right? That's the one that stuck.
That's the one that everybody. That's the way people talk about people in the world. That's how
That's it.
people view art.
That's right.
Nobody's talking about Sideways. You know,
I-
what Spider-Man movie is he in? How many
I watched
Spider-Man
Sideways,
movies?
and there's a reason why I don't talk about Sideways. The movie.
Yeah.
Sideways is a perfectly functional movie. It's presented to film school students oftentimes to indicate that story structure exists everywhere, even in other words, like that it's often shown like next to another film that seems to have a more typical story structure. But Sideways as well has a very typical story structure, but it's hidden in this very heartfelt sort of slice of life film, sort of meant to shatter your illusions of this is a slice of life. But anyway, Paul Giamatti did the music for Lost.
Do they show Space Jam in film school?
They don't show Space Jam, but
Oh.
they do show its progenitors. You watch a lot of Gene Kelly dancing with Mickey Mouse, which is sort of
Was
the
it-
progenitor to
was it
Space
Mickey
Jam.
Mouse?
No,
So was
it was Jerry.
Jerry
Yeah.
from Tom and Jerry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You watch that. That's the progenitor to Space Jam, certainly.
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think we watched
give
it.
it about 10 years if like our society is still standing, and
I
that'll
hope
be
so.
like the go-to for. But
That's-
no, actually, I take
that
that
sounds
back.
like a threat to society. I have to
It-
be honest with
It
you.
really
It'll
does.
actually
yeah.
be Space Jam 2 that people are
No,
studying.
no,
in film
let's not.
school.
Now that will be the
Here's what's-
downfall of us all.
Here's what's fucked up about Space Jam 2. And I want to say this. LeBron James is the best actor in that movie. LeBron James fucking slays it in that movie. He's way better than Michael Jordan, who is a flop-tastic flop in that movie. And he's really great, LeBron James. He really sells it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Michael Jordan's not great in Space Jam, but like everybody else around him is good, and
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
He
Even
does
when
that-
they're not good, like they don't give like Patrick Ewing more lines than he fucking needs, right? Like it's just like no, just come up and look confused, and that'll be that.
You bring up Patrick Ewing as opposed to Ewing, which I like as if he's a Star Wars property.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, Ewing. Yes, that's. I've been
You gotta
saying it
lock
that
your
way since I was a
Ewings into
kid,
attack
and I know
formation.
it's
I'm
Ewing.
going
Attack
Yeah,
run. This is
I-
Ewing Gold.
absolutely.
All right, but before we invoke the name of Jet
what?
Porkins
Yeah.
and get too deep into the weeds, there is a couple things that I have to get out of the way before
Oh shit!
we
I'm sorry. Yeah.
descend into madness, because Mike Fallek is here, and that's what happens.
Mhm.
Real
I feel
quick,
as though I talked way more about video games than I have on half the episodes on. I talked about Black.
that's true. You
Yeah.
did already bring
I
up video
literally
games.
did talk
He
about
did.
video games. I want to point that out in terms of getting credit here.
Yeah. I was on another episode of Games My Mom Found. I do not have the episode link at the moment because it hasn't come out yet, but I'll just put the link to like the actual like show page in the show notes for this episode. I'm going to be real with y'all. It is not my best podcast appearance. It's probably one of my worst. I was not in a good headspace for it, and I also didn't want to play the game that we were covering, which was Onimusha Blade Warriors, because Mike
Okay.
Albertin really wanted to close the loop on the PS2 Onimusha games, and I was like, I really don't think that we need to do that one. He's like, no, we need to do that one. I was like,
What don't you like about it?
all right, everything actually.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Fair enough. We'll listen to the episode, I guess.
Yeah.
When's that foo gonna come on here?
Well, here it's a couple things. Mike Albertin releases like 18 podcasts a week. So I've always been hesitant to try to like get him on, but also like if Weston is like the unfun foil to us, Mike Albertin is kind of that, but in a way that is we can't really like bust him on because he's very genuine.
Yeah,
like it's hard to explain. Like
show.
I don't think that he really meshes with like what we're doing here. But the main reason,
big insult saying that on an episode that I'm on. I just have to say, is this accusation that someone doesn't mesh when I'm appearing here. Well, I think I think a little bit of uncomfortability is a part of the genuineness of this show, though. Don't you think?
It's not supposed to be.
Well, I pitched for him, and I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, it like Weston is fun because like we can play with the fact that he's a fuddy-duddy and his whole personality is built around playing games on hard mode. Like that's the only thing that anybody remembers about Weston.
And I gotta talk
that's
to
his
him.
whole thing online.
Me and him should do an episode together though because of that. Because
that'd be great.
You're also a hard mode bro.
See, but I think Weston is the person who's like, there's you ever see the Sinbad anime, and they go around and they're freeing all the dungeons. I feel like no, because this example is going to suck ass.
Were the dungeons in prison? I don't understand.
Yeah, the dungeons were locked up in a dungeon.
The dungeons it's really metaphysical. It's a lot like Severance.
Okay.
No, it's not. That's a stupid metaphor. I think the thing is like if there's a battle tower, Yu Yu Hakusho style, that is hard modes of games, Weston is the person who's like, I'm going to see how far I can get up the tower and leave. I'm going to try and take the hunter's exam this year and see if I pass and try to survive. I'm the guy you meet along the way. He's like, I've been in this tower for so long. I'm not doing well. I like it here. Like, I think that would be a good episode together to talk about some hard game. But I also think Mike should be back on. I'm pitching.
Like I said, the main reason is that he like releases like 18 episodes a week, and it's like
he's busy.
Yeah, he's super busy.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he hasn't burned himself out yet because
Lawson is the same way, who I do a lot of shows with, and I want you guys to have on it, just balling out super. And it is hard to, but like he has weird time. He's sort of like Justin in this way, where he'll tell me his schedule, and I'll be like, but then how do you like? He does 5 podcasts in theory right now, 4 that he edits. He's almost a full-time podcaster at this point.
Right.
And then he'll say stuff, and then he'll be like, and then I'm doing this TTRPG thing. I'll be like, how do you have time for that? Like that's wild that you like. So like I'm literally set to play him, me, Caitlin, and Caitlin's significant other are going to play Star Wars TTRPG together that he's going to put together while he is like simultaneously creates his own Final Fantasy themed index card RPGs. That he's like in contact with the people who make index card RPG. It's like, I don't know how he gets it. Even coming from me, I really don't understand where he gets time. He is as confusing as Justin in this way that I don't like. For example, I went and hung out with Justin and I noticed he was not glued to a PC, which is odd to me that's possible because in theory he shouldn't be away from, like, that doesn't make any sense. He didn't pull out his phone in the middle of it and pull out his Steam, back his PS backbone and start keeping up on stuff. So it doesn't make sense how you were able to do that. And I am suspicious of your relation to the time-space continuum. The James Webb Telescope is up and has proved
this year
that it's a black hole.
I've kind of stepped outside the thing, the hyperbolic time chamber a little bit. And now I'm just kind of living, I guess. Weird.
Would you say touching grass?
All right. Next, the last thing that I need to take care of is we have a new poll on Patreon for the next edition of the Suffer Select. So if you are a patron of any tier, You can go to the page until 7:30 Central Time on July the 11th to get your votes in. This month, the choice is between Hollow Knight, which was nominated by Exrian, and Quantum Error, nominated by Matt Jorgensen.
I touched Hollow Knight. Put some levels in it.
Did Hollow Knight report you for that?
Yeah, they probably should have.
No, it's pretty kinky. And you guys are gonna hate it. I hope everyone votes for that.
No, see that, and here's the funny thing,
Suck
right?
ass for you.
Exrian, like, he opened his third eye when he nominated, because he was like, "Oh, you got no, this is like one of the most critically acclaimed games of the last decade. You guys are gonna fucking hate it.
It's gonna torture you."
But already, Quantum Error is way ahead.
Yeah,
because it's got a generic space firefighter man on the
it
cover.
Is a
but
space firefighter. I'm so intrigued by this space firefighter.
But look, I looked at the trailer for Quantum Error and I was like, "Oh, this is 1000% my shit."
Yeah.
No, by all means, vote for Quantum Error. I'm gonna have the best time.
You might. You might.
I have in the recent weeks wanted to start playing Firefighter Simulator, because I know, Justin, you played Police Simulator.
I played that, yeah.
I think we could make a great stream, the three of us being firefighters together. I got to be honest.
Yeah, you just turn the hose on. It's a great stream.
It is a good stream. Yeah.
Those kind of jokes are great for firefighter locker rooms. That's I would love that. I missed that. That was
being in the firefighter locker room.
Yeah, when I was a firefighter, it was really fun.
Were you oiled up and kind of standing in the doorway?
Keep going. What else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike Fallek.
Yeah, sure.
You're here.
Yeah.
You're on the cusp of a grand adventure.
I'm on the cusp of a grand adventure. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do it. I'm going to Edinburgh Fringe. Going to show my film there. We have to put our ducks in a row, but we're considering putting the film out before we even go. So I'm excited about that too. That I've talked about this on Soft Lock. Our sort of idea right now is we want people to see it. And our big galaxy brain thinking is, right, let's say we get 150 people to go to the show. That's max capacity. If half of those people go watch the movie later, if it's not out at some random place later, that's not really getting an audience. Versus there's tons of people at Edinburgh that don't have shit to do and don't want to pay money. Watch our movie instead. Go watch our movie. We're hoping and we really want to get the word. To me, my thing is with the movie is it's about lawn. It's called The Lawn Con, a documentary about grass. And it's all about lawns, and it's honestly, the movie is all about convincing people of something. And the fact is that I made this movie about lawns, and it's incredibly compelling evidence to stop making lawns, to the point of getting cancer and dementia as one of the reasons. And I guarantee almost no one will be convinced to change their habits by this movie. So to me, it's this really important conversation about can you change your mind? Can you change an American's fucking mind about something? And so I'm really excited to kind of get to go to Europe and shit on Americans and their unflappable ideas, including fucking dirt.
I'm actually curious. Did you encounter more people that were super pro gung ho lawns, or do you encounter a lot of more people like me who are I would gladly stop with this shit if I wasn't forced to do it by my HOA?
The profound message that we got back, which is why it takes a lot to make a movie like this, is the initial response from almost every person is that we talk to that are experts are who could give a fuck about lawns?
Yeah.
You know, the most basic and harmful attitude for my lawn documentary is IDGAF. Honestly, it's so stupid. And many people have asked us, is it actually about lawns? Which is to be is it some metaphor? And I was I wish it was a metaphor. It's not. Yeah. And one of our taglines, I think I said this on the show too, on Softlock too, is a documentary about lawns, period, really.
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable, but it is also unbelievable that no one wants to do anything. But then on the other side of it, we got a lot of people, once you dig into them, they'd be oh, fuck this shit. This is stupid. They would get more annoyed about it and whatever. Yeah. And then almost everyone had a story of people being mean about lawns. of
Oh,
people
yeah.
being nasty about lawns. So
Right.
whether people had an opinion about lawns is one thing, but everybody, we didn't collect too many of them, because most of the people would be like inappropriate to ask like an academic person, like, but even in that case, many people did share those stories, without me prodding them. Just some horrifying story about something that happened to them with a lawn. And people that I wanted to interview that I didn't even think would have something like that had hilarious, amazing statements about this stuff. So I didn't want to listen. The thing with movies like this is like, I like talking to pleasant people. There's a big genre of journalism where you have to talk to unpleasant people. And I've done that. And it just sucks. It gives you intense anxiety and it's like platforming assholes. But there's people that make great points by doing it. So, and I also don't like going to someone and calling them an asshole unless they're really an asshole. So like, I didn't interview anybody that landscapes, for example. Like, what the fuck does that achieve? It's weird. I didn't interview any pro lawn people either. Like the Penn and Teller episode on lawns, had focused on, one expert that we were aware of and didn't know was in the episode, but we didn't interview. And then a guy who's obsessed with his lawn. And it's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do by talking to this person? But there's a fair amount of the other side in this documentary, pro lawns without even talking to someone who's nuts about their lawn. We all know that person. That's the point. It's a universal American experience. I really made a film for and about Americans. And it's like, we know that guy. We don't need to like find them and have a nice day with them. And I get to shake their hand and have little nice texts with them while I interview them about their fucking yard. But no, we didn't find a lot of people who cared, honestly, is the biggest theme of it.
Yeah.
We
That's
mostly
kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Mostly people care once you push comes to shove about it. They don't really say it outwardly. All the experts told us it is a stupid idea to make a documentary. Like they're on camera saying, I don't really know if this is important. But, when that's even better to convince people of. It shows it on all sides. But it's a lot of them care. They care deeply about the environment and they know this is wrong. Or you'll see it in the movie. Now I'm like just rambling worse than I actually made a nice film about. But I didn't want to do, we talked about man on the street stuff. And I was like, the last thing I want is someone who doesn't understand a waiver to come after me because I make them look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, why do I want that in my life? There's like, it's also it's a film about like, maybe we need to address stuff differently to change. Cause nothing, it's a fact that we are making more media than ever and our country is going more towards idiocy than ever. So whatever we're doing with our media, it is objectively shown that it is in some way not working. In some ways it is, but like maybe we need new approaches. So that's part of the film too, is like, maybe we convince people differently. Maybe we can convince people in a new way. And I don't know that platforming someone who's crazy about their lawn and then, I don't know, they're sad and it gives them joy. And I have to be like, well, I hate you. You're stupid. But that's all you're going to get from a pro lawn perspective. Change people's minds a different way because we all don't like it. We all don't like leaf blowers, but we're not doing anything about it, like at all. So the answer is no. I didn't run into a ton of people who cared on either side.
Interesting.
Yeah. What were we? Oh yeah. So it might be online. I'm going to Edinburgh. I'm doing soft lock, to document it as well. And both these fine people have been on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on it.
You've needed just like an outlet to just like talk for like a long time. Cause like other than I would say, no, because that was still a very focused thing. Like pretty much everything that you have done since I have known you has always had like some sort of focus to it where it's like a very almost like regimented thing, for lack of a better term, where especially in the last 6 or 7 years where you were doing like very like focused like documentary type stuff or like a very thematic, this is the thing for this, where it's like, no, but Mike Fallek, just sometimes you just need to be able to just do Mike Fallek things. And so it's nice that you have a podcast to do Mike Fallek things on.
It's been fun for me. My main objective is to keep it like, because when you make a documentary that is focused, it's a lot of work. I wrote something on Threads because someone had posted this thing. I rarely I'm thread viral. Just want to let everybody know, especially in the nerd world. I actually get like a lot of responses to my threads. It's been very odd. So I did respond to somebody being like, there was this, I almost want to see what your reactions would be to it without saying this, but they were like, this podcaster said they lost this interview. And what do you think of this, that they couldn't get this interview? This person's, bailed on the interview and they couldn't do it. And I rarely respond to stuff. I sometimes, most of the stuff about podcasts on Threads is so idiotic and you just want to be sarcastic towards it. But this was like a genuine question. And all the responses were so like, sounds like your Google form intake process isn't good. Like either weird corporate nonsense or like people being like, well, maybe her show isn't a good enough idea. And I was like, these are all horrible. And obviously the person even posting it is not like some good person. There's some weird like podcast consultant, media consultant person. Like who cares?
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, like people bail. I told them my numbers. About 50% of people who agree to an interview bail before they come on. And I would say of that 50-50, it's another 50-50 of good reasons and just, suspicious excuses. Like, and I contact to get even single opinions when you're in a focused area, hundreds of people to get a single person on camera because you're bringing them, you're out of nowhere, you're bringing them stuff, we're independent media, and you're like telling them like basically, I want to interview about this one thing. And academics, especially if you've ever talked to one, they have a very specific way of answering questions. And once you know it, you know how to convince them everything's fine. But like an academic would say to you, I study coins. And you would be like, can you come on my, I'm writing a paper for the New York Times about money. Well, what would I know about money? Coins are more about the production of metals and representation of economy, not money. It's like, okay. And you have to, that's their process is writing this way. And they're really, really weird. And they're much weirder than the weirdos. The weirdos I talk to are like, sure, what Julian played a game he doesn't like for one of our friends, but these people are very much like, this is how, this is what I talk about. And the only reason I know I can talk about this is because somebody else tells me what I can't talk about. And it's like, so the point here being, I've been really fun with Soft Lock and I've tried to make it to be the thing where it's like, I'm going to not do that production thing where I'm like, I would like this guest on because they have this appeal and they have whatever. It's just like, I'm going to talk to people I know. Yeah. And that's, so it's even more the Mike Fallek thing of just being him and like, call up Justin. Like, totally not in favor of the show doesn't air until like, every 3 months and I bug you to be on. Like, that's how chill I am about the format of the show. It could just be whenever I see Justin, that's the new show. I'm just very much like, whatever the thing I enjoy, whatever the thing that I want to like record and like journal is what I do. And to take all it's a journal. It's really what it is. It's not a podcast. It's like just me being me every day. Like as Jake Paul said, it's every day, bro. So that's kind of my guiding light.
Whose guiding light isn't Jake Paul?
I know we're all thinking about him in these times.
All the time. The time, man. That's
what it's for. Is for him to just remind us that it is every day, bro.
This is how he reminds us.
Yeah. And honestly, I've probably, I don't know how many megabytes I've costed. I don't know how many megabytes I've costed this show by prodding the host to say things like Jake Paul is the Nickelback of our souls. Like you could have been listening to video game stuff. So it's good that I have a place that like I can dump it as well.
Oh, I don't need to be prodded to say that, Mike. I don't know if you know that about me.
I know. But I'm playing into the bit of it that I'm somehow the issue for the diversions. I'm glad you like it, Julian. I really like it. And I just did 2 cool episodes with Alex Facella and Siren Warner, who are both like almost polar opposite sort of people in their careers. It's been fun. It's people I don't get to talk to because I'm doing shit too. Like I need to have more conversations where one of us isn't asking someone for something as well, Right. And that's hard to do when you live this freelance life, which is just so grindy.
Right.
So it's like you're calling someone up like, I need help. Or they're calling you being like, I don't know. Will you help me with that? It's 12 a.m. Will you come to this place? It's like, it's much nicer to be like, yeah, here I am. Here's a mic. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
Is this going to be your first time out of country?
No. I was very fortunate. First of all, I played hockey and lived. So we did at some point go to Canada for something. I forget what. But
if you play hockey, you just naturally end up there. That's just how it works.
If you press the home button, you go to Canada.
You go to Canada. Yeah.
and I was very lucky. I took Chinese in high school. It was one of the
Okay.
early groups, and a group paid for me to go to China to test pilot their like summer school
Okay.
Mhm.
program, and that was incredible. I loved going to China. It was an insane experience.
Oh, I bet.
It's cool. It's cool. I like Chinese stuff. I like the Chinese language. I think it's a really cool language. It breaks your brain about English. It's probably why I don't speak English. Not like I'm trying to say like I'm so used to Chinese. I'm trying
Right.
to say like I saw how they did. I saw how they made a mess, and I was like, I think we can do a little bit of that because basically Chinese is very like it's this very simple language that ends up being very complex.
Right.
That's really cool. So that's why I don't remember names. Mess some
That's
stuff
fair.
up.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, Andrew Zimmerman. So no,
That's
it's not
it.
going to be my first. It will be my first time to the UK for sure,
Okay.
Okay.
which is exciting. My first time to Scotland. I think my first time flying over the Pacific. Not that I'm going to be awake for the flight. I'm going to go into a stasis.
Wouldn't it be the Atlantic?
Listen, man, I don't know where anything is.
I mean,
Which one's the
it
Atlantic?
seems longer the other way. I'm just
Which one's the
saying.
Atlantic? I don't want to
Right.
sound smart. This is making me sound so smart. Which one's the Atlantic? That's
the
the one
Atlantic
next to
is
England?
the one on the East Coast.
I think it's
of
my
the-
first
of
time
America.
flying over the Atlantic. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever flown into I don't think the sea counts as the Atlantic, like the shore. I don't think if I can easily swim my way to Jersey Shore, that it's to a beach that counts
Yeah.
as over the Atlantic. I mean, I've been near the Atlantic,
Yeah.
you know. I assume you guys are telling me it's on the East Coast. I don't
It's on the East
necessarily know
Coast.
where.
That is the Atlantic
Don't
Ocean.
do your own research at home.
Yeah,
I don't want
that
to.
is-
You're just
that is
being like
fair,
kind of
you know?
cavalier about the whole thing.
I only have one request,
Sure.
and that is I would like you to have an authentic Scotch egg from the source and then report back, because it's one of my favorite things to eat when I go to the Ren Fair. But
Yeah.
obviously, I'm having the Texas version of a Scotch egg. So
I'll not only get one, I will film the experience for you so you can see the whole thing. But I will say that's the big thing I'm upset about is like I have IBS from OCD. It's, number one cause of IBS.
it's a lot of
So-
letters right there.
Yeah, and
Are you also down with OPP?
and PhD,
Nice.
and BBC, BBL. I don't know how I feel about BBLs.
AHBA.
AHBA, that one too.
Decidedly anti BBL.
I don't know much about it. I now am aware that it's something you can objectify women and oogle them to see what. So it's a burgeoning hobby between me and my significant other when we go out to suspect BBLs. But I've only just learned about them recently. Why should I be against them?
Well, one, it's a surprisingly dangerous type of plastic surgery. And I think also the effect is kind of ridiculous looking.
Right. BBL Drizzy. That was the Drake diss beat. I remember that. Now I know where I know that from. I'm
And
sitting
look,
there like,
I like a nice big ass, but I like a
Uh-huh.
nice big ass because you like to eat.
Right. This. So, but I don't know. I have many opinions about plastic surgery that I generally don't say in public simply because I think like it helped. Like you don't want to. People are making enough criticisms. But yes, I enjoy fat asses as well. And so I can't right now. Know any decision. It sounds like you should take your ass decisions seriously if you feel BBL
That's
is
right.
risky enough for you.
consult your doctor.
Make your own choices, do your own research about how fat
Yeah.
you want your ass. I definitely am not gonna, whatever. But I'm in favor of all the letters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
that stupid joke was.
You were talking about having IBS.
Scotland has awesome food. It really has like cool, weird food. And a lot of it is like greasy and fatty, unlike the rest
Yeah.
of the UK. And I'm so pissed because I'm going for before my show. Like we wanted to spend more time there than the show was because we're only doing one screening because we got to Edinburgh really late. But I wanted to eat. So, but it's a smarter move to be there before your show so you can promote and meet people versus after. But I
Sure.
have to be like in front of people. And I'm very annoyed that like I can't pig out without feeling like gross or
Right.
having IBS or having to run to the bathroom because I'm like, oh, they fried a whole sheep. Let's eat it right now. You're supposed to eat the whole thing. It doesn't count unless you eat the whole thing.
Mm.
I'm like a little bit pissed about that element of it. So I am going to get a Scotch egg though. That's That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, just because you suggested it. A Fry's Mars bar, as they call it, which we call a Snickers.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two different things.
No, they're not in England.
Yeah, there's the Mars bar.
No, it's either no, it's Milky Way. Excuse me. There is no Milky Way candy bar in England.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Milky Way.
No, there you go.
Yeah. So there we go. And Mars bar is a different thing here. Anyway, this is so boring. Do your own research on candy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat a Scotch egg and send you a photo of it. I'm excited, and that's what we're gonna do. Our experiment here is I'm on here before and after.
Yes, that was the thing I wanted to do. Is I wanted to have you on before you head to Scotland and then after.
Which is awesome. Could I put this on Soft Lock? I should, right? Like this is a part of the Soft Lock.
Yeah, man, do whatever.
Feed.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Awesome. I played video games. If you wanted to talk about video games, we don't have to.
But before that, real quick, hear me out, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Especially Justin. Justin, I know last time that I was developing a reality dating show.
Let's talk. I'm
Beyblade. You were not a fan.
It was reality TV show Beyblade?
Yeah, it was the dating show where you hand the blade to your bae.
Oh, right.
And I called it Beyblade, but you were against that one.
No, I stand by that because listen, I don't know if you've been paying attention to Beyblade's X recently, but there's the Beyblade time shift is upon us, and it's causing all sorts of debacles. All right,
you got
These
Timothy
kids are
Chalamet.
too good at Beyblades.
You got Timothy Chalamet showing up to the red carpet with a Beyblade. You have a Digimon game that's doing well.
Yeah.
Okay, these are signs that a Beyblade reality show would do well. I just totally disagree with your evaluation.
That's fair. Now that I can get behind, but listen, these kids do not have proper Beyblade training, and they are beating professional Beybladers, and that's just we can't have this.
Yeah,
we can't have it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm onto something this time, guys.
Okay.
It's another reality dating show.
Sure.
Why this?
I'm fully in favor of this.
I'm just brainstorming. I've been on a hot streak of coming up with like just new hot ideas.
Well, you seem to be stuck in this pattern, but go ahead.
Hey everyone, you know how I waste so much time on the show? Julian has flipped my fucking Yu-Gi-Oh trap card. This whole episode's going to be about reality TV. I watch an ungodly amount of reality TV. I'm so excited for this pitch.
You're the perfect candidate for this pitch, apparently. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's it's a dating show, and it's the format is very similar to your typical dating show, right? You're gonna do little meet cute events, and you're gonna have like the confessional parts, and you're gonna like go on little mini dates with the different people and everything. The key to the show, the hook to the show, Justin.
Okay.
Is
hold on to that question. I know Justin's question. I want to hear.
But when it's time to choose the person that you want to be with, they must take an unprotected chair shot to the head. And if they can't do that, then they're not the one.
Well, okay. So,
and you call it?
And the show is called To Love and Cherish.
Incredible.
And it's hosted by Edge and Christian of WWE.
Okay, no, that's good.
Incredible. Incredible.
Okay,
I assume The Miz shows up at least once.
Maybe not. He's not much of a chair guy.
Yeah, he's not really.
But he's a reality show guy.
That's true.
He is a reality
challenge.
show guy. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can go with it. You can probably have the Miz on there
listen. You want La Parka.
I'm saying right now, the Miz is going to be on there whether you want it or not.
There's different avenues you can take, right? Like you can have the Miz on there to be like more of the dating guru type person.
Yeah, you need
but then you can bring in like a La Parka or like the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, they were more tables.
The Island Boys.
They are more tables, but they've done TLC matches, right? They could help the perspective.
Unfortunately, Terry Funk is no longer with us, or I'd highly suggest him.
Did Terry Funk die?
Yeah, no, Terry Funk passed away sadly. I did a whole tribute to it on one of the shows that we did.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he had a spot where he would like hold his hand up in the air to call for a chair from the audience, and then everybody would throw their chairs. So,
Yes.
and they had to actually make people stop throwing their chairs in the ring because it was becoming dangerous.
Yeah.
Mr. Ham, you had a question in the middle of Julian's pitch that I know what it was.
Hi, Justin Ham, Stage Select Podcast. How does this benefit us exactly? Like, what do we get out of it?
Well, because
Watch it.
because it's presented by the Stage Select. And obviously Space Monkey Mafia Productions et al., right?
Oh.
So not only are we getting the money from To Love and Cherish, but it's also promoting the Stage Select.
The earlier ideas, were just like, here's an idea for the podcast or whatever. And these are just like, this is just a different thing.
Dude, I am Mr. Worldwide, all right? I am thinking...
You are Mr. Worldwide. I've always said that about you.
Yeah, I am thinking about building our brand into the stratosphere, right? With just different revenue streams,
integration,
different hustles.
Horizontal integration, Justin. That's what we get out of it.
Horizontal integration?
Yes, not vertical.
Oh, I'm all about the horizontal integration.
What's the difference between that and vertical integration?
Vertical integration is like you make cameras, and so you buy a glass factory to make the lenses because that's your one vertical. Versus horizontal integration is like this somehow connects to all these other businesses. Like that's like Enron, Halliburton shit.
So if I like make cameras, I'm also making like popcorn or something.
Yes, no, totally. That's a great one. Yeah,
Okay.
You make cameras, you make popcorn.
Yeah, because those are obviously connected. Everybody knows.
Yeah, Halliburton. Just look up like
movies.
what Halliburton does actually, and that's horizontal integration.
Yeah, there you go.
You buy oil, but you also buy whatever the tech is to make like batteries, because inevitably you're doing like power. They don't really relate, but like you got an idea. Horizontally, it's what the real evil people do. It's great. It's just actually like we have a corporation that is focused on taking over the world. It's real dog shit people
this
stuff.
Is how the Milwaukee Brewers, stay a baseball team somehow.
Yeah, because you have that's a great example. You have a baseball team, and people will get drunk at your baseball game.
That's true. Yeah. They will do it.
I'm fully in favor of this pitch. I have some questions. Are the contestants, because I think you need a hook so Bachelor Nation, for example, it's always you're there for the wrong reasons, right? Right now, it's sort of like everyone that goes on The Bachelor just wants to be part of the Bachelor Nation influencer pipeline.
Okay.
I hate that that exists, and two, that I understand what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horrible world we live in. I want to remind people that when The Bachelor first started, The Bachelor has become a conservative Christian nightmarescape.
Oh, I believe that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it is on like 5 hours a week on ABC. It's wild.
Wow.
But I want to remind people that when The Bachelor started, they knew they were a joke. And actually, I can't do this name because you guys don't know the real guy's name. I don't know the guy's name who hosts the show. And how I remember it with my girlfriend is I call him Chris Hansen, who's like the assault victim, To Catch a Predator guy. So it's not him, but I can't do that around you guys because then everyone will just think his name is similar.
I would probably be more interested in that show if it was Chris Hansen hosting it.
That would be great, actually. Now, see, there's an idea, Julian. You have that guy, but some sort of dating thing, but it's hosted by Chris Hansen. But nothing
bad happens.
Nothing bad happens. That's the best part.
Is it just like there's about to be a rose ceremony and Chris Hansen gets off some harrowing call? He's like, I understand.
That's it.
And he's going to jail? Okay, are they going to press charges? Fine.
Yeah.
Rachel, you need to choose 3 men tonight.
Nothing happens. It's just him doing that the whole time. Everybody's like, what's Chris Hansen?
But she's okay. Only a few bruises. Oh, a concussion. I got it. Dave, you've been going back and forth on Becky.
That's right.
He comes in the room, wipes blood off his hands, shakes a cop's hand, and he's like, anyway, you two are going on a helicopter ride over the Key Islands.
Hold on. Okay.
I really thought that To Love and Cherish, hosted by Edge and Christian, would finally get a little bit of respect from Justin Ham, and I'm
absolutely not
miserable right now.
No, it's not bad. I respect his position on this.
It's not bad. Okay, is it Chris Harrison?
Yeah.
The name of the guy from The Bachelor? I'm sorry, I just had to look it up.
Yeah. He was that show when it started knew it was a joke, and they actually feature in I think Scary Movie 1 or one of those
I
movies.
think you're right. Yeah.
One of the OG movies. So what's your vertical here what's your skew in terms of audiences and demographics of what are dating contests? You have Love on the Spectrum. You have, Love Island, where they're just particularly hot. You had the one with the moms.
Are you talking about contestants for?
Yeah. Are they
show?
amateur wrestlers? Are they big wrestling fans? Are they not at all into wrestling?
Probably not wrestling fans. You don't want them anywhere near this.
Right. Well, do we? What was your vision, Julian?
I hadn't really gotten that far. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. It's okay.
We'll work it. Well, let's work it out now. Let's
probably we're probably looking for a lot of people that look like Rhea Ripley and also people that thirst for Rhea Ripley.
Looking up Rhea Ripley.
So I think that's probably the mix you're going
that's
for.
That's about right. Yeah. That's about right. Because the guy has to take the chair shot, right?
No. That's the whole point, is that you have to trust that it's not going to be that it's stagecraft. I mean, right? I that's the metaphor, right, Julian?
Well, no, I don't think that's it.
No, I'm saying it's open to all genders.
Okay, so. Everybody's taking chair shots.
But that's what I'm saying. Is
everybody's not taking a chair shot. It's the person that you decide to choose has to take the unprotected chair shot. But I can see a thing where like maybe you bring on experts to help them train to take said headshot, right? Maybe you have Mick Foley come on there and he's like, no, when The Rock did this to me back in the day, I was going to say you maybe don't want. That's maybe not a great example. I would put Kane on there. Kane's taking a lot of unprotected chair shots to the head. That's why he's a shithole now. I was going to say we probably don't want Kane on there because he's taking too many
bring him on there and just point it out. Like, look, this is what you can become from this. That's all I'm saying. This is how it happens.
You too can become governor of, or what? I don't even remember.
Fucking mayor of some fucking shithole town in Tennessee. I can't remember.
That's crazy. What did he do?
Dude, it was crazy because I watched this daily news show on YouTube, the Philip DeFranco show.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to me when he was doing a story where Kane was the politician making the sound bite, and he referred to him as the mayor of this town.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I have to go to the comments for this. And sure enough, everybody was like, the fact that that Kane was just referred to as
Glenn
just
Jacobs,
the mayor of the city.
I remember him when he was Isaac Yankem DDS.
Isaac Yankem DDS. I was just thinking about how jokes like do we cheat him and how? Like I was just thinking about jokes like that. The law firm, do we cheat him and how?
Yeah.
I loved, what was it? Isaac Yankem?
Isaac Yankem DDS.
DDS.
Yeah.
Great.
He was a dentist, and he came out and he was upset. His entrance theme was drills, was just dentist drills going off. That's all it was.
Horrifying.
I miss that. I miss that era of wrestling,
where everybody had a job. Yeah.
Well, and just like silly gimmicks, right? Like now it's just like, oh, this guy, I wrestle under my actual name, and I'm just a dude in tights, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
I also don't like that, and I have searched for years. I've tried to get into wrestling a few times, and I have a friend who does a podcast with Lawson. Which is, I guess, if you're under the age of 52, is the likelihood you've done a podcast with Lawson. But the statistically, in other words, but he's like a wrestler. Like his name is the Ham. He's like a wrestler. Mm-hmm. I forget what you had just said that I wanted to bring this up. There was a specific reason
about gimmicks.
Oh, yes. And I have asked both of them to get me to the era, like and I've tried to find tapes and like whatever, like the era where the gimmicks are high, but the craft is also watchable, so I can get, and the story is good so that I can actually get into it.
It's like what, like between like 89 and 93?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe even a little bit further than that. Like Isaac Yankem was like 96, 97, somewhere in there. Maybe a little bit earlier.
I thought he was already Kane by then.
No. He wasn't Kane until about 97 or 98.
Wow. Okay.
That was because he debuted in the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, the very first one, he ripped the cell door off. So, and that was about 97 or 98, somewhere around in there, because that was right as Shawn Michaels was starting to do the Degeneration X stuff.
Yeah, like that's right. That's the kickoff. Like that is when the Attitude stuff is starting to kick off.
Yes.
So it sounds to me like this may go with a prevailing media historian theory, which is I should try 1994, often considered the greatest year in television.
There you go.
94 is a pretty good year just in general. That's also a really great year for video games.
If you look at the sports events, the live events, the news events, the new TV shows, and things going on that you can watch through television, it is oft considered that the years of like 94 to 95, whatever the TV season is like the best. There's actually a 30 for 30 talking about only the sports elements of that year. And it's wild. The Rangers win the Stanley Cup. Michael Jordan trounces in the NBA finals. OJ Simpson is on TV. Some really famous golfer. I don't want to say Arnold Palmer, but like someone as old as him, maybe even Phil Mickelson, like plays their last round of golf. It's like I think it's called 1994, the 30 for 30, but there's all these TV events that are just crazy. So I'm going to try 1994 in wrestling.
You might, let's see. I'm looking here at 1994 in wrestling right now. There's a whole Wikipedia thing here. Hulk Hogan was that was his debut in WCW. So that was a big year.
I don't know that I want to watch newly minted Hogan. Oh no, wait, that's when he switches
he was already
networks,
around.
Right? Yes.
He went to a different promotion. It was a big thing.
Oh yeah.
You might want actually later than that, because WCW. I can tell you where you want, Mike. Where you want.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're gonna say.
You want WCW while like the Dungeon of Doom was around.
And Glacier and
even
like that's Glacier's later.
Okay.
But the Dungeon of Doom had like the Shark.
I'm typing Woman Crush Wednesday Dungeon of Doom. This is very good stuff. I'm liking what I see so far.
Yeah. No, that's good.
This is great. This is on TV. Wow. Okay.
Mike, you played video games.
Sullivan. Yeah.
No, I was talking about wrestling. I'm not done with your pitch of wrestling. I watched a lot of reality TV as well. That's mainly what I was doing, is watching reality TV. So I'm more into, because to me the conceit of your show is that you have to trust the person that that you're competent enough to not swing a fucking chair at my head and actually hurt me with it. That's what I thought your conceit was.
No, Mike. An unprotected chair shot to the head is an unprotected chair shot to the head.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that. It's a shoot chair shot, as they say in the business.
It was such a serious thing that people were taking them for as long as they were, that now if you go back and watch the videos of the unprotected chair shots to the head on YouTube, they actually do a weird edit around it, so you don't actually see the impact anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how nuts it is. Like I was watching the TLC match with the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian or whatever.
Oh, all timer.
And like every time they go to do the chair shot, it does this weird like digitized edit and then skips it. It's really weird. It's still fine to watch. I know. Happened,
yeah.
But like it still kind of loses something. It's weird. Yeah.
That sucks. Well, then I don't know that I like the concept. I like the concept when it was that you had to be able to trust that this person wouldn't hurt you with some sort of stagecraft and misdirection.
They're gonna swing some steel at your head.
They're gonna swing some steel. Like the point is, do you get up from the unprotected chair shot? Because if you are, you're the one.
You're the one.
If you do, you're
this
the
is
one.
This is like a witch trial thing. If you sink or float, like if you sink, you're guilty. If you float, you don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's barbaric, I guess. To some extent, it's great. I guess to some extent, it will eliminate people who would be on a reality TV show. So there's some societal benefit.
So is the dating process before the chair shot or after?
Yes,
Good question.
The chair shot is the fun. That is the giving the rose part of the show.
Okay,
but the thing is that if they don't get up from the unprotected chair shot, then the romance is over, and then you come back for the next season to see maybe this season.
Do
you
we
know,
clear the bodies or do they just kind of sit there?
This is going to cost so much in insurance that it might not
it's
be
fine.
worth
It's fine.
it.
Don't
though.
worry about it.
Okay,
We
all
got
right.
it.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I retained Lionel Hutz.
You know,
He's
not
a
as
good guy.
not
Okay.
as much or as bad as you might think, Justin. I mean, a
Really?
lot of these dating reality shows, comparatively, a lot of these dating reality shows make them do like really dangerous things. Like,
Have you heard about what Mr. Beast did to people? I think we're good.
That's fair.
but for I mean, every single season of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette includes bungee jumping, and skydiving.
yeah,
Every single
that's
one.
fair.
So comparatively, it's like not such a big deal insurance wise, I guess.
Yeah, and you're only taking the one shot too, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
there's that. Like it's just are you staying up after that,
oh,
or are
that's-
you sinking to the ground?
That's legitimately a good gimmick. You're saying, as reality shows go, you're saying that you only get one chair and one person to hit. If you hit someone, they go down, they don't get up. You're off. You're done. That was your chance. If you got to save your chair, or if you hit someone with the chair, they come back up, and like you're totally not compatible. A few more weeks.
The chair, like the chair shot doesn't happen until the final episode when you choose your like prospective partner. Then you give them the unprotected chair shot to the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they go down, that's it. Like you're not dating. But if they stay up, they're the one.
So you're I have to correct you. So then you're not actually thinking of a Rose. You're thinking of a Lane something. What's his name? The guy who makes the rings for The Bachelor.
I don't look. I'll be straight with you, Mike. The only reality shows that I've ever watched were the Joe Schmo Show, which is a fake reality show, and Beauty and the Geek. So I don't have a lot of like points of comparison.
I was supposed to interview someone from Beauty and the Geek for a project that I ended up scrapping.
Yeah.
And they made Neil Lane does the rings for The Bachelor.
Oh, good.
You're thinking of Neil Lane. This is more like they had some they had to cancel for semi mysterious reasons, but that I understand. And I ended up not doing the project, so there was no reason to reschedule. What was I going to say? I know you don't watch a lot of reality shows. That's why I'm going to torture you with the deepest of details and facts. So you're thinking of Neil Lane, who brings the rings in at the end. You get to pick out a little chair. It's not quite a rose happens every week.
You get to pick out a chair?
Well, that's what you do with a ring. So instead of picking out an engagement ring, you're going to pick the chair. Oh, this one's aluminum. This one's steel.
Yeah.
This one's coated in, cellophane or something. I don't know. Nice light.
Can you wrap
balsam.
the chair in barbed wire?
Yeah, something.
No,
that
see,
people
we're
do.
not trying to be cruel.
It sounds like you are trying to.
I was
going to
say I've seen that. I've seen the chair wrapped in barbed wire. I've seen the exploding chair shot.
Well,
now,
okay,
that's fun.
you have to escalate, right? Like you have to have a place to go.
That's
so
fair.
So you start with just a plain, steel chair to the head, right?
Okay,
and then after a couple seasons, when that starts to get old, then you wrap the chair in barbed wire, right?
What about also what about down the line?
I did not think we were going to spend this long on this.
Told you.
I'm not
You've
going
we're here
activated
now.
my track card.
Now you can also. There's also thumbtacks. The thumbtack spot
Staples.
is pretty.
What are we doing with Staples?
with a chair. I've never seen a thumbtack spot with a
No,
chair.
no. I'm. This is down the line when chairs have become passé. Now we can't. They're. It's not good enough anymore to take a chair shot.
We need something like in The Bachelor that's like a one-on-one. That's a little bit special. And so you put staples on. You put thumbtacks on the floor.
Into thumbtacks is all I'm saying.
Okay, no, I get where you're going.
Yeah,
this is like the
All right.
fantasy suites before you actually pick your chair.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the exploding landmine. That you could land on.
You went a little far. I was gonna say like maybe the light tubes before that.
Light
Table
tubes
that's
for
on
sure.
fire. How about that? That's
Light
fun.
tubes
Your
is
body puts out the
cocktail
fire.
night one.
It's totally safe. No worries.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Those could all be events though,
fire out
because
with your
the show
body.
is called To Love and Cherish.
Right.
So like the chair
That's
does
true.
have to still be a focal point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
But like
Yeah.
they've done the Golden Bachelor. I don't know that you should call someone in their 60s or 70s a bachelor.
That's fair.
So you don't have to stick to the word after you get to seasons 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Like You got to escalate. You just do. Justin's right. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want this pitch to go through, we need to hear what step 2 is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what's season 2? Once you get to season 3, it's all good. But
Yeah.
before then,
I feel like there may just not be enough chair shots. You know what I mean?
yeah, we're only going to do one chair at the end of the series, Julian.
It seems like a lot of build up for something that like may or may not go that well, you know?
Yeah.
Like what if the person
that's
swinging the chair
that's
isn't
the
good?
hook, right? Is that you're building to that one moment, and it's like it's all there, right? It comes down to this one thing.
I'm
will
getting
it,
the pitch
will it
now.
or will
No.
it not?
Justin, I get the pitch now. It's more of a sword of Damocles. So the whole rest of the
Okay,
show
yeah.
is like normal dating show, and they're like Julian said, like, today we're going to go walk around the Piazza del Forno from Mario Kart 4, and
Okay, great.
which is I couldn't think of a real piazza, so
What-
I
who
did
could?
just that is the one from Mario Kart. Anyway, I'm very cultured. I'm a documentarian. They go to Luigi Square.
Mhm.
And today we're going to walk around the haunted mansion with these vacuums, whatever it is. They go
Right.
and they do little cute dates. And then there's like I just really like you. I'm thinking of hitting you with a steel chair. There's just like a lull in the conversation.
That's
like
good. That's good.
swallows, deep breaths and stuff. Like, yeah. So anyway, my mom was really supportive of my.
No. Then we cut to the confessional and like where it's just the one-on-one and it's the guy or whoever being nervous about it is like, I
Sweating.
don't know if I'm going to be able to take this chair.
Yeah,
shot.
I don't know. Like I hit myself like in the head with like the
I'm
lid
doing
of
a
like
lot.
an old
I don't know
style.
if I'm going to be able to take this chair shot. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
I
don't have the heart
tried
to tell her.
with
I
an
have steel
old
plate in my
garbage
head.
can lid, and
Yeah.
like I knocked myself right the fuck out. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm really honored to be here. I really want to be with Diane or whatever. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this chair shot. You
The-
know,
the
She doesn't even have a
confessionals-
lot of upper body strength though, so maybe it won't be that bad.
maybe it won't be.
But is that what
Okay.
she wants it to be bad? If I have to prove myself, the confessionals are these unhinged Tyler Durden-esque monologues about the nature of violence and our fear of it.
And but the worst thing that could happen is you get a finger poke of doom at the end though. Like that would be that would be bad. Because if you get to the end and like they're like, oh, I like them so much, I'm not going to hit them really hard with the chair, and they just tap them. That's bullshit. That's the finger poke of doom bullshit. We can't have that. That
No,
ruined
absolutely
WCW.
not. Yeah.
No. It's like seppuku style. We create a weird culture of absolute sheer terror and committing to violence. I love it. No,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
it's a great show. It's a great show idea. I really like it. I really like the fear element of it.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
sounds harrowing and like what reality TV show needs nowadays.
I agree.
I'm really into it. What reality shows have you guys been watching lately?
Myself.
Beauty and the Geek, 20
So that was
years
about
ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
I sent Julian a depressing text about Game of Thrones.
That's fun.
You did?
You were like, you said on the show, oh, if Game of Thrones came out 20 years ago. I have to point out that basically Game of Thrones did come out like 20 years ago.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't respond to it because I was like, no, you
came out
completely misunderstood what I was saying.
I know, but it came out 16 years ago. What would be
But I was
different?
saying if it came out during the when the PS2 was hot, and
Okay.
it would have had like 3 probably like
Yeah.
really like well regarded like
It-
8
the
out of 10
television show.
games
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
that are
okay.
now like really well thought of in hindsight and people pine for.
But is the PS2 era 20 years ago? I guess is my question. too.
PS2 era is 25 years ago.
Right.
Like I mean, it launched 25 years ago, and so
Right.
but so.
Yeah, it
You
did.
know, I'm thinking like 2003 to 2006, releasing games in that time frame.
But when does it comes out? 2006 or 7? Game of Thrones. But it didn't have a video game.
Well, Game of Thrones was like 2010, 2011,
Yes.
2010.
2010. That's how it's
Yeah.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Good job,
Yeah.
Michael.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I get the point.
Yeah,
Uh,
you did send me the dumbest thing that I think
Yeah.
I've heard in a long time.
I send both of you guys stuff like that a lot. Yeah.
Which was saying that Avengers Infinity War is the same plot as Star Wars Episode 1.
Fight me. Here's the plot of Avengers Infinity War. Spoilers for
Okay.
Avengers Infinity War
All right.
and Phantom Menace. The movies both start on broken down negotiations on spaceships in the sky.
You're already wrong.
I'm not wrong.
It's not a negotiation, my dude. It's Thanos.
Thinks, oh, is he
it's
fighting?
Thanos coming to fucking steal.
Wait a minute, Julian. Let me stand back and hold my kendo sword. Are you saying that it was aggressive negotiations?
No, it was. No,
Duel of the Fates.
It was Thanos doing what Thanos do, which is taking what he wants.
He has a whole conversation with. It's what the Jedi do. The Jedi take what they want. Starts on a spaceship.
The Jedi weren't even like they were mediating. They weren't even doing the
They were mediating with the end of a sword. They mediated a few people in half, Julian.
No.
They mediated a spaceship down to the ground pre-droids, which means that's all people.
There's like supposed to be like discussions with like the, you know, I don't even remember what the race was.
The Trade Council.
I guess what is it that the Jedi are there on behalf of?
There's a blockade. There's a blockade on Naboo.
Where nobody really pays. Oh no, they're paying attention to me. Oh
got
god,
you right away.
That was terrifying. Oh man, I was really hoping I could get in under the radar here. Damn.
You can keep doing it. We can go for the bit.
No,
we can go for the bit. We'll ignore you.
Go ahead. It's fine.
I don't need to talk about this. They then go. They then are take detours to foreign world where they pick up a plucky little kid. They pick up old what's his name? Old Spider-Man.
Old Spider. Boy.
I am unfortunately gonna equate Spider-Man to Jar Jar Binks and Anakin here. But they go and they pick up a talented young man who has potential but isn't quite a full hero. They gather him up.
Who doesn't like to pick up talented young men?
They pick up Anakin and they pick up Spider-Man, and then they bring them into this fight that they're not quite ready for. And their mentor ultimately is afraid that they'll, die on this mission. But they, to the advice of people who say their age is a problem, train this person and bring them along on an adventure to take down one of the most dangerous types of villains in the galaxy.
No one trained Spider-Man in Infinity War.
I forgot that Tony Stark isn't his mentor and his Jedi master. I forgot
that's
not
any
what
mentoring
happens.
in that movie.
Of course he does. He gives him a suit. He does the same exact type of mentoring that they do for Anakin. Stay in the ship. Stay close to me. Watch my every move, Anakin. It's really dumb. I know, but it's not. The point is that's what I thought about for about 6 hours before and after messaging that to you. And then I did drop a Summer House reference on you when you got sick of me telling you more theories about Marvel. And so I knew you didn't. So you didn't know that was a reality show reference saying summer should be fun. Amanda, not fun. It's a classic moment from TV's Summer House. It's okay. We don't have to talk about this. Yeah, absolutely.
Who couldn't forget this classic moment that that I've never heard of?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, it is dumb though. But I rewatched all of them. They're great. They're great, man.
They are. Yeah. I need to get back to my MCU rewatch because I stopped after Doctor Strange, and I need to pick that back up because I literally have not watched any of the current phase since I bought them. I've got a whole stack, starting with I think it's Shang-Chi is the first one from that phase, and I haven't watched any of those since I bought them, and a lot of those I've only seen once, like the Eternals and. Fuck, I can't even think of the names of a bunch of them because I've only watched them the one time. I don't have them committed to memory the way that I have the rest of the movies.
I just learned.
Fuck else came out? Spider-Man. No Way
Far From Home.
Far from. Is it Far From Home?
Far From Home. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen that one once, and I loved it, but I only saw it in the theater.
Fantastic. Just rewatched it. So good. I just learned that so I started to read after this. I started to read the Thanos books, his mentions.
Make my own extended universe. Go ahead.
You don't have an extended. We have a little.
I'm going to make one. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm going to think it out while you're talking.
The Eternals is a integral part of Thanos in the books.
I'm gonna make my own Eternals. They're going to be called the plastic guys.
That's why I got so excited at the end of Eternals when they show Star Fox
And
Yes,
aka
the brother
Eros.
of the brother of Thanos.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have
Who's
my
got
own
awesome
Star
powers.
Fox
Why didn't they make that?
Yeah.
is gonna be called
You know I'm up on it. You know I've been reading, man. I already know.
he's gonna be called Carlos
Because
Space.
Because it opens with a character Mephisto, and I was like, "Man, did they do Mephisto in the movies?" And it's, no, and then I kept reading, and I was learning about Star Fox and all that stuff.
But he's gonna be called Devil Guy.
Good name.
Yeah.
Good
Wait,
name.
there's already Devil Man in Japan.
Well,
so
this is Devil Guy. He's a
Yeah,
guy.
Okay.
are you
and he's
kidding,
the devil.
Julian? It's not even close to similar.
Yeah.
His is Guy.
Mine's Guy.
call him Devil Gee.
No.
Make it French.
I like that. Devil Gee tickled my fancy in a real way.
Yeah. All right. It's
An
pretty good.
isekai.
It is pretty good.
Mike, you said you played video games. This is probably the longest in a long
It's
time
gonna
we've gone
get
without
so-
talking about video
I
games.
just want to let you know it's going to get so bad when I tell you the games I played. Like, I'm letting you know I'm being nice to you and talking about Thanos for this long.
Do I need a cigarette before this happens, or is
With
it going to be?
it might be a good advertiser break to do this as what we're going to talk about.
Should we do that right now, or?
No, I want to say the name of the game.
Okay. All right.
Break, and then people will be like, "Oh man," and maybe we even come back Patreon. You know what I mean? Like delay it even further.
Okay.
Produce this thing.
that's
commercial
in
break.
Keeping with the reality show
You know
theme,
what?
right?
I
You
really
got to
like
delay
this.
as long
Okay,
as
all
possible.
right.
Delay as long as possible.
Now I need.
And then
now,
Julian, you should edit in like our reactions from later
Yeah.
in like a coming up on, and it's like us talking about it. Are you ready? And then we're going to take a break.
I'm ready.
And we're all going to promise not to say any words, not even like, I'm going and I'm going to go. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
headphones off.
Okay.
Ready? I've been playing many, many hours of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, Christ.
Now that they're gone, we can really rap. Listen, I'm drinking out of a Katamari mug, which makes this absolutely relevant video game content. Anything I do out of the Katamari mug is good. It's a good thing to happen. I watch so much reality TV, you can't even believe it. I'm going to list the shows I legitimately keep up with. Summer House, The Valley. Oh boy, The Valley. I'm not a fan of these people. I think people form parasocial relationships with these people. I form parasocial judgmental. I'm part of the snark world of these things. Summer House. Watch Summer House. Watch The Valley. Used to watch Below Deck. Stopped recently. Real Housewives of Utah. I begrudgingly have started to watch. I'm not a crazy fan of platforming the people from Mormon Wives of TikTok. Begrudgingly have started watching those. I've been rewatching old Vanderpump Rules. I have a lot of thoughts about Vanderpump Rules. I'm still looking, if you're in this show, still looking for a nerd that's into reality TV and also into video games. I'm looking, or anime, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of us out there. I made a new friend, Alex Vasella, who's into video games and Broadway shows. Not quite into reality. Okay. Real Housewives of Mormon Wives, where they drink all their little waters. Ooh, I could actually ask Justin about that show. What else do we watch? Rewatching Vanderpump from the beginning. You know, it's occurring to me that I may talk about reality TV when they come back on. Oh, I lost it. That's it.
The Stage Select is made possible through the support and funding of viewers like you. Here are our wonderful patrons.
And we're back. Justin,
What?
I think it's actually a wonderful time
Yeah.
to thank our lovely patrons.
Sure. We can do that. Let's do
We
that.
appreciate all of our lovely patrons, but every week we like to thank the executive producer tier. And this week we have Addy XD.
We have Big Baker.
We have Bill Tucker of A Gamer Looks at 40. Hey, Bill, hope you're doing well. If you're listening to this, thinking about you, man. He released a wonderfully personal episode of the show explaining the kind of mental break that he's been dealing with.
Oh.
And I thought it was a very powerful, very relatable episode.
Well, I hope he's doing okay.
I spoke with him in private. I haven't heard that episode yet. I think it's I'm talking about my bulimia, whatever, here for the first time. It takes a lot to just broadcast that out into the world. It's crazy. It's crazy he did that. And obviously I said personal stuff to him too, but like, it's amazing that he's able to do that.
Yeah.
Amazing that he's able to broadcast that stuff.
After I don't know how I follow that, but we have a bookie.
You just
It's all
roll with
about
it,
the
man.
money. It's
We
all
have
about the
Casey
money
Curran.
with Justin. He's just back to the Patreons.
We have David Portnov.
We have Dennis Robertson.
We have Dr. Delicious.
We have Eric Peacock of the Soundtracker podcast.
We have Xrian.
We have Game Johnson of Retrofits.
We have Matt Jorgensen.
We have Philip P.K. Becker.
We have Raymond Crum.
We have 60, who wandered by a very weird mirror earlier with something odd in it.
Okay. We have Stephen Lobo.
And last but not least, we have Xavier Krager.
Congratulations,
Thank you to everybody
everyone.
for supporting the show. I think this is the perfect time to explain why we were gone last week.
Oh, okay.
Just stretch it out. Just stretch.
It's fine.
It out.
No, it's good. I like it.
No, because what I want is I know that 60 is now looking at the time codes on the show,
Yeah.
and they're going to be like, "Oh shit!" Like they're still not going to get to Final Fantasy 15 for a while.
Right.
This is what I wanted.
Yeah,
I made this.
I know you're doing it too, 60, and now 60 is about to like put a comment in the Discord. It's fun. I like doing this because. Like the reactions are predictable, and the listeners are like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah, we're playing with fire here. This is real. This is WWE. This is like really, we know what the audience wants. We have them on the edge of their seats.
Yes,
we're in it now. We're interacting.
We're not going to give it to them.
We're not going to ever give it to them, or really anything ever.
No. What if we never talk about Final Fantasy 15? That'd be fun.
Next week. Next time on Lost. Did you know that's a producer of the show that does that voice?
That's good.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
that's the second time that you brought up Lost on the show, Mike. Have you been watching Lost?
Yeah, that's the end of that's the I've said the two interesting things about it. That Paul Giamatti did the music and he also did the music for Black, and that the guy who goes next time on Lost. That's like a producer from NBC's, not like talent.
I loved Lost. And I watched it after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul Giamatti did the music, but I'm going to look that up now. Go ahead.
It's Michael Giacchini.
Okay, there you go.
99% certain it's Michael Giacchini.
All right. Well, anyway, continue, Julian, while I look this up.
Yeah.
And after this explanation, you'll find out who did the music on Lost. So
you come back to the thrilling conclusion of music on Lost, which they've already Googled because I made the same joke in the first half of the show. So
last week I crashed out, as the kids say. I am terrified about my job.
Yeah.
I feel that I am woefully underqualified for it. And I am not understanding. I'll be real with y'all. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I try to ask people what the fuck I'm doing, I just get like a lot of non-committal stuff or responses that are like, you should already know what the fuck you're doing because you've been here, for 4 months. And it's getting to the point where like screaming at my computer in response to things because I just fucking lost it. And so I'm trying to think. I think it was last Tuesday. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. I was like, I gotta go. I'm not feeling well. And I just logged out because I just could not. I feel like just constantly stupid. And here's the thing, right? Is that when I was offered the job, because I'm working for like a previous manager. And she was like, "Oh, it's very similar to what you've been doing, blah blah blah," like in claims, like. And so I was like, "Okay, so I'm going to be, kind of looking over documents, making sure I's are dotted, T's are crossed, making sure numbers are correct, right? Like checking over other people's work. Like, okay, this is stuff that I've been doing for years. Cool. Oh no, it is budget analysis and like timeline forecasting and budget negotiation and like." I don't understand. It's like I'm looking at cost categories and decide and trying to, ascertain like, is this in the right spot? Like it's like accounting shit. It's like so much stuff where it's like, oh, I should have an MBA to do this job, and I don't even have like I went to college for a semester, and I'll see, they'll in the agency, like they'll have like these email blasts, like, oh, here's new employees, and like they'll have their little bios, and like all of these people are like, from like the business world, or they owned their own businesses, or they've worked all of these like really like elaborate capital B business jobs, and I am not that, and so much of the stuff is also like I don't know how to do PDF. So now I have to train myself like on YouTube to like do PDFs, like not, other than just like opening them, right? Like it's like, oh, but now I have to like manipulate this document and like put this together and move things around and redact things and all this shit. And then same thing with like Excel. It's like anytime I'd ever used like an Excel spreadsheet at my old company, it was something that had already been set up by someone in upper management, and I just had to plug in the stuff. Where now it's like, no, but we need you to like make a pivot table out of this type to like get this data out of this workbook, and it's like, and there have already been enough scenarios where it's like the impression that I have given people is take any Trump appointee at their confirmation hearing answering questions. And just be and like, oh, this person has no business in this position. Like they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Some of this is me. Some of this is also like just the job where like a really good example recently. There was a meeting that I was invited to, and I get meeting invites all the time, and so I accept it because I'm have to go about my business. And then as we get close, because it was like 2 weeks out or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll deal with that later. But then as we get closer to it, I look and I'm like, this is going to be like one of my clients that wants to meet with me just to kind of get to know the person that's now handling their account. Right. And then I look closer, like a couple days before the meeting, I'm like, oh no, this is internal. Okay. And then it's like, oh, we're just evaluating this account. And the evaluation dates are from like January 2024 to April 2025. And I'm like, okay, sweet. I literally have only like, I only acquired this contract in April. So it'll be a really good time for me to just like sit back, see what these evaluation meetings are like, and kind of file it away in my head for the future, for when I have to actually like take point on one of these.
I know.
So, we're meeting with like a bunch of like people that I haven't met before, and also like some upper tier people, and we do our introductions, and they're like, okay, Julian, present your findings.
I knew it was coming. I literally knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I've been that is awful.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm new. I don't know what you want me to present. And they start asking me other questions, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm very new. And thankfully, like the person who had been managing the account before me was in the meeting, so she was able to kind of take the point and actually like answer the questions. But they were still like, well, what do you how do you evaluate this based on this? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen this before. Like, if you're asking me if they're going to do this based on these scenarios, I would say no, but I don't know. But that was my first impression for like a lot of like people, right? And there's been enough scenarios like that where it's just like, fuck, man. Like, and people are going to say like, oh, don't worry, like you're new, they understand you're new, blah blah blah. The problem is that, and that is true, like, my manager has said like, no, we understand you're new, we've got your back, blah blah blah.
Fuck yeah.
But my manager is also new to this department.
Fuck no.
And literally my role in the job description is maintains accounts with minimal supervision.
Oh,
and I'm like, no, y'all need to be looking at everything that I'm doing, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what these numbers mean. I don't know if I'm looking at this right. I don't know if I'm supposed to be like going deeper into these figures or like these reports and like bringing things up or whatnot. And it's just going to come to a point where it's like, oh shit, you don't know what you're doing and we need to cut you loose. And I just fucking bought a car. And like, if I lose this job, I could go and get my previous job back. Like, I left on very good terms, and, the manager was like, no, if you ever want to come back, let me know. But like, that money was not enough to live before the car payment.
Right.
And it's like, I'm going to be out on the fucking street so fast if like this all. And so that's been me just just
catastrophizing.
Thank you. Just the last, week and more really. I have had the worst stress headaches. I have been crushing a leave like nobody's business because like almost every day I have had like just the most pounding headaches. And I didn't go into work on Monday. And then I also left early on Tuesday of this week because I was still like, no, my head is throbbing and I don't know. Like I'm terrified to come into my office in the morning and sit down because it is just the most nerve-wracking, and honestly, you know what it feels like to kind of make it like a little lighter, because I know this is kind of intense.
That's fine.
Those episodes of Seinfeld, it's usually Costanza, but Elaine gets into these situations too where it's like somehow he just like bullshitted his way into a position that he has no business being.
Bullshitted his way into owning or being like general manager of the Yankees or whatever that was.
Right. Or like that episode where he didn't realize that he was supposed to follow his boss into the bathroom, and the boss is like giving him these important marching orders for the week, and he missed the entire thing, but the boss doesn't understand that because he came in like right as the conversation was ending.
Right.
And George is just like kind of bluffs his way through it. It's like that, except I can't bluff. Yeah. And it's awful. And I been in a really deep depression over it. And and it's weird because the Discord is a new thing for me. So because, this is definitely not the first time this has happened to me since I've been podcasting, where I retreat inwards, but it's the first time that like I've been so accessible to the listeners. Right. Because like, if I didn't tweet for a few days, it's like, okay, whatever. Like sometimes I don't tweet for a few days. Yeah. But if I'm not in the Discord, on the regular, people start reaching out, and I appreciate it. I'm not saying don't reach out. It's just, it was a very like weird thing for me. Cause like, no, y'all understand. I'm not even talking to like my best friends. Like no, like I'm not talking to anybody. Like I have canceled, I canceled the podcast last week. I canceled my normal like chat time with my friend Blissy. I canceled Final Fantasy with my friend. I have not talked to anybody, right? And it's like that's just what I do, and it's rough, and I'm terrified. I'm legit terrified. Oh man.
I have a stupid question, a really dumb one.
But
by all means,
yeah.
Have you tried Googling how to do your job? Like, I'm so serious. I've never thought of this before, but have you literally just like typed into Google, like, how to yada yada job? I know that's not any reprieve for anything you felt, but I'm so curious because whenever I have like some anxiety, I have Googled it and it doesn't help. But
I mean, I've had to Google how to do, how to use Excel and how to use Adobe PDF, right? Like, but there's certain things where it's like it's very specific to this agency. But and the other crucial part is that the person who was handling these accounts before me, I can tell that a lot of the knowledge is just in her noggin, and
Yeah.
not anywhere else.
On the paper, yeah.
Yeah, and my old company was that way too, where there was like a handful of people that knew all the shit, but they didn't have it like anywhere else. And you just had to
Yeah.
like kind of come to them when you needed certain things. And I was like, this is all gonna like
I'm
fall
one of those.
fall
I'm one of
apart.
the people. I'm one of those people where I work, where people have to come to me to ask what's wrong with this specific machine. Oh, it's a piece of shit. Let me
Right.
show you the one specific trick that gets it to work. Here you go.
One weird trick to get this machine to work better
Yeah.
than it ever has before.
Yeah, basically.
7
yeah.
weird hacks. Because I mean, like, if you were in finance and you were like, I'm just now a stockbroker, I'd be like, there's definitely videos on how to be a stockbroker.
Yeah.
And you could get away with some stuff for a bit with that knowledge.
Yeah. But this is like, okay, I don't know what these numbers mean based on, like, I know, so I take that back. I know what the numbers mean. I don't know if I'm supposed, like, it's like, okay, well, if they're only at like 37% of this target, like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Is that good
right?
or bad?
Right. And like,
Yeah.
so right now I've got a lot of stuff where they're actually closing out. And so I'm just having to close the stuff out. I'm like, all right, but like, am I supposed to, because, they're giving me like final reports on their programs and stuff like that. But it's like, am I supposed to be like really like doing anything with this other than just like, like doing the stuff to close the I know the steps to actually close everything down, but
Mhm.
like, is anybody gonna look at this later? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
it's stuff like that.
Why am I doing this versus like it just does it automatically? Like, am I supposed to have a conversation with someone? That's
Yeah.
weird knowledge not to know. That's crazy that they're not like just chill about it and be like, yeah, here's what you do.
Yeah, and part
It's
of it
odd.
is that like I think originally like the person who was who had these contracts before me was supposed to like kind of show me the ropes as they were doing stuff and then have me gradually take the reins.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
upper management was like, why is her name still on this stuff? She's not in that department anymore. Like, it has to be like the actual manager. And so they just like gave it all to me. And she is available for me to ask questions, but it's getting to the point now where it's like, as I start to ask questions, it's like, oh, you really you're at the point where you're like, you should know this by now, and I shouldn't be holding your hand this much. It's like, okay, cool.
Mm.
So
But is that the fucking case? There's so many people that I deal with who are just such d-holes about asking questions. And it is crazy how many people have to be like, I'm literally asking you a question. If you want, like, this is a professional question. I can't read your mind. So do you think is she a dick? The person that you have to ask this of? Like, I guess you don't know because you're just because some people just do their gut response to be like, oh, why are you even asking something?
No, it's not quite that, but it's definitely like a change in tone over, thing. And it's also like, because now I'm at a point where it's like, this is like the third time where I need like a demonstration of how to use this system, because I can literally not get it to spit out the numbers that I need it to spit out.
Mm.
But like, she's already walked me through it twice. You know what I mean? So like, I don't even know what benefit there is to be like, can you show me again? Because like, that ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that. And so part of it, I will freely admit, is like lack of training and also lack of resources. But
Yeah.
there's also a part where it's like me, like not fundamentally understanding the shit, and like people telling me stuff and then me being like, okay. And then it's like, in the back of my head, Morgan Freeman's like, it was not okay. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a lie. I know 3 people, Julian, whose entire jobs right now, different companies, are because people don't train people and no one writes down any training. It's literally their job to like make available training documents.
Yeah, and my manager, like, she was very big on when the company that we worked at together was very big about written procedures, and so and we were also really good about like, okay, let's streamline this, let's do this and that, and like let's have this done, and she wants me to do that for here, and it's like, one, I don't know well enough to even begin to do that, and 2, from what I can tell, the procedures change so often. Like I literally ran into that recently where it was like someone showed me, snare quotes, how to set up a new account, where they gave me the stuff and then I just had to kind of puzzle it out myself. But the the procedures that they gave me, all of the links inside were dead.
Good.
And
Oh,
then
that's
when I
good.
asked for like an updated version, they sent me an updated version. And so I went through that. And then I started getting all of this like feedback from, the people that double check the work when you're inputting a new account. And I was like, but it literally says, don't do this. And then it turned out that I was using an outdated version of that
Nice.
checklist. So
Great.
But they were just months apart. So that's the thing, right?
That's
Is that the
good.
stuff changes so quickly that there's really not a good way to have a set thing that you can just like work off of. Because I was big about that too when I was team lead in claims. Is like I would make like very detailed. If you don't know this job, but you know our systems, if you go point by point with this, you can do what I do, right? It's going to take you longer than I do it because you don't know it as well, but you can follow the steps. And as long as you follow the steps as written, you're going to do it, right? And there's nothing like that for where I'm at. All right, Mike.
All right.
Well, you know what I think a solution to that is, though? Before, I don't want to delay anymore, but do you want to go to space?
I can't because the rocket's
Yeah.
down, actually. I'm sorry.
And I there's reasons that I'm actually glad the rocket's down, because I that's a little bit too much editing for this weekend.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Y'all don't understand how much extra work going to space is for Julian.
I mean, I believe it.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Just looping the sound effect?
Yeah, but like basically I've got to listen to the whole segment to edit it. Also to notate where it starts and where it ends. Then I need to bring the sound effect in. I need to get it just so, and then depending on how long the segment goes, I'm going to have to like re-loop that like over and over sometimes. It's a lot.
Huh. Trying to think if you could stream. I mean, why not fucking do it live? Why not we get that loop on that board?
Because it's not going to show up on Audacity.
Justin's audio doesn't go into.
No, it would. Yeah, it would if you did it. There's probably a crazy way to do it. But well, that's a conversation for another time.
A boring one that I started. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, my the rocket's down. No, my MIDI drum pad is not working quite right now, and I don't know what's wrong with it. I tried. It's actually why I was late showing up today because I was trying to fix it, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with it. So.
Was I late then?
What's that?
Was I late? I thought I came out at like 8:32 or something.
I was late.
You were here before me.
Yeah,
okay.
I was late. I was getting
you guys,
gas station egg rolls.
If it couldn't get more interesting than technical details that the audience can't see, talking about the schedule is really where we're capturing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's fucking go, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
talk about how we got to Final Fantasy 15. So first, let's talk about the first 14 games.
Sure.
And then we will talk about Final Fantasy 15.
Absolutely.
The actual. No, lay it on me, Mike.
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want the concessions and the stuff I understand, or do you want the more outlandish? Do we do it reality show style? Do I say the things that make people feel comfortable first, or do I say the most sensational stuff first? That's my question.
I would like to put out there that I've only played Final Fantasy 15 for about, 2 hours, and I don't really care about it. So say whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
But producer-wise, as people of the show, do I say the interesting part first, the inflammatory part first, or do I say the stuff that reassures people of the, you know what I mean? Where do you want me to start?
Tell us what you think about it, and then we'll go from there. Like how you're feeling about it. Are you okay? Actually, first question: like, how much of it have you played?
I don't know. Hours-wise, I don't know because let me just say, I really like the game. Hours-wise, I don't know if that's an indication because I've really been enjoying the grinding loop and the missions of that. So my hours don't necessarily equate to like what is conventional grinding because I've been having times where I'm like, oh, I like this, so I'm in here.
I think there's actually 15 chapters. So
if there's 15 chapters, I am about to walk into chapter 10. I'm either in chapter 10 or about to. That goes with my estimate of the game. It's like I'm heading into end game. Is what I would say. I'm not done, but I'm heading into end game.
Okay.
I just think it's a fucking fantastic game. I like every single thing about it. I really like So I had come across Final Fantasy 15 because I played Ni no Kuni, and I said, I've never seen an RPG kind of do it this way. And at the time when that game had come out, not that this is the first game you'd think of for this, people were like, they just made that Final Fantasy 15 was that way. People had said that's the only other game that's like very similar in just the idea of action RPG and like you're doing sort of, it's kind of like Mass Effect. It's kind of like, other sort of action RPG games with commands, but there's also beat 'em up elements to it. And I just thought that was cool to like juggle those at once. And I was like, but Ni no Kuni is just kind of a cute game. It's not really like meant to be for any sort of pushing gameplay kind of thing. It's meant to be enjoyable. So I was like, is there anything that like takes this seriously? And at the time when I had played Ni no Kuni, people said Final Fantasy 15. So it was always on my radar. I started playing Ni no Kuni again, and I was like, I'm going to play Final Fantasy 15. I want to play a Final Fantasy. Been listening to No One Can Know About This. I bounced off of like 4 RPGs that I just hated. I don't even remember what they were, but I played them for a bit, and I was like, this sucks. I played not the really good one, not Legend of Mana, but like not Secret of Gaia, whatever the good one is, like Secret of Gaia. That's a good one. Illusion of Gaia. Illusion of yeah, like Secret of one of those. Not Illusion of Gaia. Not that game. I'm actually in the middle of that game, and it stopped it, and I was going to go to it if I didn't like any new RPGs. But like, yeah, something like Secret of Mana, something like that. I thought it was dog shit. I played something else, and I just thought everything was bad. And so I was like, I really am in the mood for Final Fantasy 15 because of No Cat. I'm going to see what this gameplay is. At the least, I'm going to buy it. It was like $12.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it, and I haven't bought a game in a while because I'm on Game Pass. And it's like, I'm going to play it, and at the worst, I get to play like a more serious version of Ni no Kuni, and I'll put it down, and I can say I tried another Final Fantasy. I love the combat. I think there's messy elements of it. I think there's messy elements of it, but I think it is interesting in a way that makes me feel. Let's talk about it. What don't you like about the combat?
I had so much fun holding down the X button for 75 hours. That was some brilliant gameplay right there. To be fair, but here's a very important distinction, Mike.
Wait, hold on. I'm playing an updated version. Yeah.
Yes, you were playing a much different version of the game than what I played.
What system did you play it on, so I can know what X is? What you're talking about?
PlayStation.
Okay, let me grab.
It would be the A button on the Xbox.
The A button. That's what I thought. Maybe it's a different controller layout. That's jump.
Or whatever the attack button is. Holding down the attack, because that's all you do is you hold down. I remember it being X, but like again, it could be that they changed the controls. You hold down the attack button, and they auto attack, and then I think you press the block button to occasionally block. So
to me, what I like about that and what it creates is both this sensation of chaos in the world of RPGs, which I don't always feel. I liked that it felt, I think some of the flaws of it that were not as clean and acceptable as like sort of we do combat now, they still do a bad job clipping out near objects to the camera. That is a problem. But it felt more like you're walking along. I also had never played a game really until recently with the mechanic of you can, and I think at the time it still would have been the first time I played it too. Like you see the enemies, they have a range and you can engage or not engage. That felt very like a cool way to do random encounters. I like that, where the enemy can kind of see you and you move away. I thought that was cool. I like a lot of the mechanics of like the spell building and the weapon choices. I like the dodging. It feels more like how you feel in an RPG, which is like mostly invincible, but either underpowered. You know, you always, whenever I play, especially a Final Fantasy type game, Chrono Trigger, you know, any game where you're the fucking man. The plot is you're the man. I feel in that game like it is kind of easy combat because I'm a dope warrior. So it's kind of easy in that sense, but it's challenging. There's resource management. There's time management. That feels more like playing an RPG. That was my big thing I liked, was the combat's fun, but it's not Gears of War or God of War is what I meant to say. No, it's not God of War. where
Well,
I'm
and I
really
think
having to think about my mash 'em up choices.
That's my big complaint, is that it's the worst of both worlds. It's just hold down the button to do like real-time combat instead of actually let me think about like what buttons I'm pressing and my timing of if they did like actual action combat like they do on like the Final Fantasy VII remakes, which are full action, or Final Fantasy 16, which is full action. But then it's also because there is like the wait mode version, which is like where it slows down, but
It's more like a tactical turn-based RPG.
but you also don't have really many options to even like choose from, or at least you didn't in the original version.
That mode I would denounce completely, because the idea that you're doing stuff that slowly would take you so long to defeat enemies. It's ridiculous to think anyone was going to use that mode. It's far too slow because you only deliver like one attack at a time, and you have to hit enemies for I don't think.
Well, yeah, that's what
anyone
I'm
has
saying,
beaten that game.
because they don't give you enough things to do that would like warrant you being tactical, because it at the end of the day it is just swing your weapon wildly or throw your grenade spell.
Yeah, I mean, listen, to me, I want to say that like I feel like I'm not justified in this opinion, but I think if people went back and played it, I don't necessarily want action and beat 'em up style gameplay to be the dominant style in RPGs. I would like to there to be a pushback against that. And I think right now it's just diverting into, you make a Pokemon style, old school fantasy, Final Fantasy style, choose the attack games, and then you just make basically beat 'em ups. That's not, I think that this in between this, I love Mass Effect. That's a big part of why I like this game, is I like the idea of it's kind of action. It's kind of calling out commands. I like that it's not granular and at the same time feels granular. Like, I think there's a value to calling out commands. And this specifically, that type of worst of both worlds is like why I turned on the game. And I think it's a big part of why I like it.
Well, and again, and also you have commands that you can actually give. I did not. So like the original game was, you have Noctis,
Okay.
and then the computer is doing whatever the fuck the computer wants to do. You have no input over that whatsoever. And all Noctis can do is auto attack or chuck your, grenade spells, or you can warp around.
You didn't have a pull-up menu to, like in mine, if you press a bumper, it'll pull up each of their preloaded special moves.
There were like certain like link moves that you could do at specific times where if you hit the button it would do that. But like I know that like the game has been upgraded to where it's like you can legit tell Prompto to do a specific action, or you can and whatnot, and like
you can unlock in their trees the ability to play as them.
Yeah, and that wasn't there either.
Yeah, that seemed like an added on feature, to be honest. But I would have thought that this Mass Effect style call attack was in the original too. It's not?
No, and also like Mass Effect is being extremely generous, because like Mass Effect, they had like actual like abilities to use where
I want to look this up, because this seems like a key part of the combat, and that would be pretty crazy to me if this was added after the fact. I got to be honest. Did you beat it, Julian, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I've beaten every Final Fantasy mainline game except for 5.
Wait, will somebody look it up that's not privy to spoilers? Because I guess I am trying to not spoil it for myself. Like, how much you could do combat wise with them in the original, just so I can have an idea of like exactly what you could do with, you know what I mean? Like what you could actually do with Prompto and Dialga, whatever the guy's name is. Gerardia. I think it's Gerardia and Dialga.
Are you talking about the other
Dionysus?
Characters?
Yeah.
There's what, Ignis, Prompto.
Yeah, Prompto.
Gladiolus.
Yeah. I knew it was Areolus or something.
You know why I know that? Because of the Final Fantasy fucking Magic the Gathering thing. Gladiolus pretty good.
Listen, I didn't want to text you because in case I would get spoilers for this, because I really am not wanting it to be spoiled. Bro, if you do see a Noctis, I would like a Noctis Magic the Gathering card. If you
I have a couple.
Oh, I'm grabbing those, because while we're figuring out the combat thing, because that would make a difference to me a little bit, to be honest, because then it's only kind of Ni no Kuni. Right now, it is identical to Ni no Kuni in a lot of ways. That's the only similar. Are there other games that do this kind of thing? Because in Mass Effect, you're really shooting and you're engaging in a shooter. This is beat 'em up, mash 'em up style. Like it isn't. You're not.
You're holding down a button to do
But
everything.
this is what I'm saying about the combat thing is like there's actually quite a lot. There's a lot of like dodge moves that Noctis unlocks, and there's a lot of like not necessarily active combat, but like reactive and like basically instead of you sitting there and waiting for your turn to attack with a meter counting down like in Chrono Trigger or the Final Fantasy like 8 and onwards, they have that bar or 7 and
the
onwards.
ATB gauge.
Yeah. Instead of doing that, to me, it's like in the way I'm playing it, it's like you're sort of moving, you're sort of dodging, you're sort of doing this stuff. You're launching like it's the throw attack. But then when there's opportunities to do stuff, if you do the right thing, you get it. It feels more like I'm just playing a turn-based RPG where I'm saying, do, fire storm. But instead of having to sit around and wait for my time, I'm navigating to like I'm moving around these other like mildly improvable combat opportunities. That's how it feels to me right now. And that's what I like about it is that it's like an enhanced version of just sitting and waiting to press Thunderbolt.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I said, like Final Fantasy VII, the 2 remake games, they do it, I think, much better because you are actively fighting things and dodging.
And are you calling out commands as well or no?
Yes. As you're fighting, you're charging an ATB gauge, and then when there's a button to like go into your menu, and the game stops, and you select like a spell or an ability or whatnot, and then like
the game, interestingly as well, is another reason I wanted to play it because it's what's similar to Ni no Kuni, does not stop in Final Fantasy 15 when you call out commands.
Yeah, I hate that.
I love that. I fucking love that. That's so fun and dangerous feeling and active, and you're an active participant.
Let me tell you about a game called Mass Effect Andromeda, Mike.
I didn't like that game because it didn't start ever. I never got to go. I played 2 hours of that game. I never got to be the guys. I never was the guys. I never played as the guys. I didn't do anything as the guy. The main guys, you know how you play as a guy in a game? I was never the guy. I walked around and talked to people, and they seemed to not care about it.
But what guy were you?
I was one of the guys. I don't know.
You were one of the guys, but you weren't the guys?
No, I was the guy. I was walking around doing the guy, but I wasn't like, do a little attack, time to shoot, and whatever. It barely happened. In the first,
you didn't get to like the combat parts.
No, I barely got to combat.
He wasn't the guys.
I wasn't the guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy 15, you are the guys.
I was
you have
the
no
guys
choice because
right from the start.
They don't let you be the girls.
Let's get to that. Well, so this is what I'm saying is I want someone to tell me what the concrete combat differences is, because that does make a huge difference to what I'm saying about the grinding loop, which I really like. I really have enjoyed the grinding loop. I really like the bounty system. I like the setup for it.
The bounty system's great. Yeah. Like, they took that straight from Final Fantasy 12, and that was like one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy 12 was doing the hunts. And I should be clear, I didn't hate the combat. Right. I was just extremely bored by it. My biggest issue with Final Fantasy 15 is the story.
Just can you log this for if we come back to the combat? Compared to what? Bored compared to what is my question in that combat? Bored compared to like, it's definitely that game comes out in like the heyday of getting like beat 'em ups and mash 'em ups and being actual combat and not mash 'em ups actually. Like, so is that what you're comparing it to? Like that's the heyday of awesome, move around combat. So compared to that stuff, yes, it's boring. But compared to
it's the worst of both worlds for me. Let me press the buttons to do the shit, or let me select the stuff from a menu. It's just exceedingly boring to me. And I hated the magic system. There's really not much like ability wise that you have other than like. Noctis' teleport thing is cool. I think that's a really neat thing.
Yeah.
And like the different weapons are cool, but then having like 3 other characters that are basically just like taking up space and not doing anything except when like I get a specific button prompt where then they can do a cool thing. Like that wasn't engaging to me.
That would suck for me. If honestly, if you're saying you can't call out commands, and I'm not doubting your Final Fantasy memory, I just want to know what the fuck actually you were doing. Like I want to know the exact difference, because to me, that's a big part of why I wanted to play it. And I think that would suck to me if it wasn't like Ni no Kuni, where you're running around, you're doing attacks, and you're like in the middle of doing this, having to go through a wheel and call out the traditional RPG attacks. That is exactly why I played this game. So if you didn't play that version of it, then there's almost nothing to talk about in the combat. But if I guess it was to say, if I can convince you on the story, then I would recommend going back to buying the remaster, which was comes with.
I own 2 versions of it. Yeah, like
did you play the remaster?
Not yet.
The combat is really engaging. It's real, like having this the best of both worlds, in my opinion, not the worst of both worlds, is like compared to the next time you're having an itch to play a game like original Final Fantasy where you're pressing just commands and stuff. I would say give it a shot because it's a different thing in your brain. I liked it. But if you didn't play that, then there's nothing to, you know what I mean?
I intend to go back and revisit it. Like my intention is to go through, now that the pixel remasters are out, my intention is to play them all in sequence. I'm still on 4, but I want to go through the 6, like all 6 of the pixel remasters, and then, you know, replay 7, 8, and 9, because like 9 I'll probably skip because I played that fairly recently. I played that back in 2020, so it's pretty fresh in my head. But 7 and 8 are not. But for me, like, that game was the characters. If it wasn't for those lovable himbos, like, I would not probably have finished that game because the story's dog shit. And
Final Fantasy 15 we're talking about again.
Yes.
Every single element of this story is my favorite thing I have ever seen in any RPG.
That is so insane, dude.
The character designs, the world designs,
the character designs are fucking garbage.
The entire vibe of the entire world is all I want in fantasy stuff. I think that the opening sequence, if you didn't fucking like that opening sequence of pushing that car.
No, that's great.
I mean, come on, and it's Americana.
If the game had been literally what the pitch was, which is it's a road trip with friends, and if that was the core of the game, I'd be like, no, you know what? That's a pretty cool, like, interesting idea for a Final Fantasy game. Yeah. But no, let's lop the beginning of the game off and put that into a separate CG movie.
That was pretty bad, yeah.
And then let's have like this evil empire, because we really want to be Final Fantasy 6 so bad. We want to be Final Fantasy 6 so bad.
Wait. Are you trying to say that the cutscene that happens after the opening with the whatever was? Is that the CG movie you're talking to, or is there another CG movie?
It's intercut through like the opening hours of the game.
Right, you see it in the game. You
get out of context shit that doesn't tell you anything.
There's a bunch
and it's just the beginning of the game. Like, in other words, it's not missing. If I go find this right now, which it may be on my Xbox, let's look at the app.
No, like the whole setup to like.
Right, I know. I'm saying it might be a feature because I bought the remaster, which comes with everything. So I may own it, is what I'm saying. On my Xbox.
I don't know if the movie is part of the Royal Edition.
I may look that up.
I got my shit out right here.
I think you would have remembered sitting through a 90-minute CG movie.
Yeah.
Well, not if it was 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there.
No. What I'm saying is that there are out of context bits of that movie that are just thrown into Final Fantasy 15 without much like explanation on what's happening.
It's more than 90 minutes. It's an hour and 50 minutes, and it's Kingsglaive is the name of it.
Yeah.
It is basically the stuff you need to know about the story.
You goddamn nerds. Tell me how I get on the Xbox app to my games.
Very carefully. Has the 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, so very, the
movie?
Very good. Yeah.
Who gives a shit about Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, I'm just saying it does.
It's got Ultros in it, so I'm still gonna give it a fresh.
That's fair.
Why can't I see my fucking games? What's the point of this stupid app? What are they even showing me? There's just advertisements.
Well, I don't think you have it's a movie is one.
I'm trying to see if it comes with it, Justin.
I don't think it does. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And
again, if it did, you would have remembered watching a nearly 2 hour long.
I know. I want to experience it the way that if I have it, I'm either going to watch it on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna.
You have to pay money for it. It's $4 on YouTube.
But I will I'll watch it on YouTube. What I'm saying though is if in the Royal Edition they intended for me to watch it on my Xbox, I'm going to experience it that way because I'm insane
I don't
person.
think they have it on there. I think it's a completely separate thing.
Yeah. And also, you have the Brotherhood anime, which I did not watch, but that gives you all of the backstory on the main characters,
Dude,
which
I
is
do
not
now
really
have
present in the game.
I do not have my hours that I played, but it won't let me go to the fucking. Here we go. More.
You can buy it on Blu-ray for
This app. Blah, 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 blah,
$16.
blah. I'll buy that shit on Blu-ray. I'm a huge fan. I'm for real want to knock this card. Add-ons. It comes with the Windows edition. That's kind of cool. Can I actually put it on my PC because I bought this? No, I can get a cheaper version of it on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it on PC, I think. Final Fantasy
I will say one of my big complaints when I was playing it in 2015 has since gone away, which is I really hated the empty open world because I felt that it was like really like boring and uninteresting.
Right.
And then I took my road trip from here to San Francisco, and I was like, oh shit, this is Final Fantasy 15.
Right.
Let's talk about it. I love the open road. It's fucking incredible. It's no different than having to press forward. I love that you can't drive at night. I love the whole. You can eventually, but I love that the demons interfere with your. Did you have that element that the demons like interfere with your car, and that's the logic? You have to stop.
Oh right, at the beginning you're not allowed to, like, Ignis is like, no, we're pulling over. I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then eventually it's just like a demon will come up in the road and they're like their magic interferes with Magitech. And so do other big Magitech engines. Like they also fuck with it.
I don't recall that. But
so that was a good narrative reason.
It might have been that by that point I had stopped trying to drive at night. I couldn't say.
I love the road trip element. I'm a big fan of Americana when it works. I think it's so cool. I love driving everywhere. It's way better than just pressing forward. Like it is just doing that, but it's better for some reason somehow. You know what I mean?
Again, I love the road trip aspect of it. I think if it was like a much like more down to earth overall story about this dude going on his like kind of bachelor party road trip on the way to, get married would have been like a really cool story instead of whatever the fuck Kingsglaive was. And then again, let's throw in this evil empire. But in the game, every time that you encounter them, like in story bits, they're like, oh no, we're cool. Just go on through. The only time that they're ever like actually like antagonistic is when you just find them in the field randomly, or like a couple key moments where it's like, oh no, actually we give a shit about what you're doing right now, and so now we're gonna have a boss fight. But for the most part, like the Empire is just like this weird like non-entity type thing. Like if the story was,
let me defend it first. Let me log my thing, and then I hear you, and I have a very specific perspective on the story of the game that I don't know if it's intentional, but I don't really think that good art, which I consider the people at Final Fantasy to be artists. I really don't think anyone touches a Final Fantasy who doesn't want to make art.
Yeah.
I have a perspective on it. To me, it sort of belies adding the idea that it would be like totally carefree and they would just get in misadventures and it's some, shoujo anime kind of thing is very appealing, honestly, to me as well. But I just think that it sort of belies every other Final Fantasy is the story of tropes, magic, and the world at large, and these, Campbell Jungian ideas, right? These archetypes from the highest and the lowest of the world. And like this game is decidedly much lower stakes and less emotional. It's about a bunch of rich kids, right? I mean, they're all just a bunch
not, though.
But and so this is what I'm saying is the element of the violence and whatever sort of belies the reality of the douchey kids that are rich kids, like do end up in these crazy positions of power that are insulting, and the idea that they are going on a road trip and they have this unassailable authority in the world, and yet they are just taking jobs and doing stuff with tabloids. I mean, that's real life. That's how it happens. People are in the tabloids and doing blogs and writing for these things and are just the sons and daughters of these terrible rich kids. And they do just have untoward power. And I wouldn't think that way if it was a more traditional fantasy setting where they were knights and they were privileged. It is because they're dressed like they have enough money to buy their entire wardrobe at Hot Topic. Because someone who dressed in the most expensive shit from Hot Topic for sure was the son of a rich kid and is for sure in charge of statistically someone listening to this show. Like, that to me is like fucking real life. It's like, it sucks that it sucks, and that's why the world sucks. And yet you do, speaking of Summerhouse, Kyle's a kind of likable guy if you watch the show enough. He's a huge douche, and being friends with him in Summerhouse is shit. But
I have no idea what you're talking about at this point.
Just listen. But in reality, if you watch anyone long enough, you gain this affection for them, and people have a sweet side to them. And that's how I feel about Noctis. I feel he's a rich.
No, you're not listening to me, Mike. I fucking love Noctis. I love all four of those characters with a red hot passion. They are some of the best
sexy boys.
They're some of the best characters that Final Fantasy has ever had.
Final Fanny. I like their Final Fannies. They all have tight, nice Final Fannies that I dress up. It's a big thing I like in it.
Dress up in what? Like it? Here's this new black T-shirt, and a nice black T-shirt, and that's a really nice black tank top.
Do not even with that. We can get to that in a second. Say what you were going to say. You like Noctis. We're gonna answer the wardrobe. You're insane. Go ahead.
Again, you didn't play the game that I did.
That's true. But so maybe I'm trying to tell people like, hey man, y'all are missing out on the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played to intend to complete. I started a few of them, and I've never gotten this far. I've played many, many, many hours.
And I should be clear, I don't think Final Fantasy 15 is a bad game. It is a game that I fully intend to replay. But like the other like Nomura heavy games, 8 and 13, it is at the low end of my list of mainline games.
Okay.
So my dream for Final Fantasy 15 story would be, we're on this crazy, bachelor party road trip to go get our boy married to this girl that is going to unite our two kingdoms because like they're at war with each other. But this is going to bring them together. And it's going to be really cool. And like the main like antagonist as you're on the journey is random monsters, because I really do love the idea of this hyper realistic looking world. But there's still Final Fantasy monsters in it. Like that's a really cool concept.
Mm.
And the monsters are, just to take a pause, I think we can agree, the monsters are pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
they're not the best monsters, but they're really, really cool.
The story mission where you're hunting that behemoth is like one of the coolest things.
Yeah. If you don't know, you're in this like tube, and it's like all these like, remember in Jurassic Park where the fucking eye comes up to the it's that, but more. It's just like, what if the eye happened like this, and what if the eye happened like this, and it's scary and it's crazy.
And it's like, what if you fought a behemoth to scale? Like, this is what they actually are supposed to represent, like in all of the other games.
Right.
But, we didn't have the graphics to do it before. No, that's awesome. And then, like, the other main antagonists would be, like, parts of Luna Freya's kingdom that disagree with the Union. And so they're like a splinter group that are, like, trying to stop you from getting to your destination. And
it can't be that. It can't be that because this. I'm so happy I get to be mad like a Final Fantasy fan now. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Final Fantasy fan rage for the first time. It has to be Princess Di. Everyone has to be in favor of it. It doesn't work unless it's Princess Di. They can't be against it. Everyone loves her. They can't be against it. That's like the whole thing. It's 2004. That's the whole plot of this game, is that it is fucking 2004.
That's not the whole... Okay.
The whole vibe of this game is that it's 2004.
I don't want to say anything, but that is not the plot of the game.
Not 2004. When did she die? It's fucking.
It was
98.
98 or whatever. Yeah, it's like right.
It was somewhere in the 90s, bro.
It's the start of the millennium. Okay, what? Go on.
And then as you're getting like partway through, you hear like, "Yo, Noctis, like your father passed away, right?" And it's not the result of this like huge attack by the evil empire. It seems like it's like this natural cause, and then as you get deeper into the game, it's like, but actually, like the king's like vizier is the one that did it,
and it's a deeply personal, weird thing about your dad. Yeah,
right,
yeah, and I really like that.
That's not what it is, though.
But here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Like, to me, the vibe of the game and the story of the game because now I don't want to talk too much about the results of that, because like that's definitely like going to be implicated and whatever. The vibe of the game, to me, that story beat moment is that Noctis finds out at this like crazy awesome couples resort that is like so nice, and it's like one of the most expensive inns you can stay at in the game, and you have to do a fishing mission to progress it, and it's like,
keep all that shit.
And I love that then it's like, it's this rich kid story. I mean, that's it. I've never seen something like this where it's just this blatant rich kid story. And I kind of thought it was this refreshing take that it's like, something goes wrong and he does just get to stay at a fucking 5-star hotel. But then
we're not
worse
arguing
shit
that.
happens.
Like that,
I
we're in
love
agreement
that.
on that.
So then what's wrong with that story beat?
I'm talking about all of the empire shit around it and like, oh, this military coup that happened in a movie that you didn't see beforehand unless you paid, however much I paid for the fucking Blu-ray before it came out.
Well, let me say to that too as well, because this has been a problem when I talk about Star Wars. I will say I am very much a try to get yourself into it type of person. Like, I have never read those things at the front of Star Wars, even to this day, even though I've seen those movies. I watch them like every 2 months, basically. I don't know what they say. They say some shit about stuff happening in space.
So weird, dude.
They say some stuff about space. Who would read the stuff about? Who would read? I'm here to see lasers. I'm here to see lasers, bro. You have to know I don't like reading. I'm here to see lasers.
Right. You're here to watch a thing, not read a thing. Come on.
It's insane. Yeah. So it may be that movie pissed you off a lot. Honestly, it may be that like that movie, the amount that I see it in there is cool.
Man, you're not listening to me. No, I'm saying that I don't need any of that shit. I think it would have been a much more effective story if it was a much more down to earth story just about these dudes and this marriage. And the conflict comes later on into the story of the game, like deep into the story of the game. And crucially, not only do you get, I need to tread carefully here. At a certain point, like you decide to bring the ladies along for the journey, right? Because that's another big problem I have with Final Fantasy 15 is it's just these 4 dudes, and there's 4 excellent women in the story of the game that are perfect party members.
It's a huge issue. Now I'll say this. I am fully in favor if they want to further remake this game. If our conversation of this takes off on the internet, my first thought as soon as I started to like love
it's going to inspire them to do that. But
fucking Storm, it's us and Mr. Beast. Which one are you going to watch today? It is once I started to get the vibe of the game, and I was like, why do people hate this game? I know they hate it. And my first thought was like, there's no girls. And like, I kind of then said, but you know what would be a great remaster of this? Literally take every gender in the game and flip them. And like the same exact story, but it's the 4 girls. And then the guys they run into the guys. And it's like, 2, you change, like, I mean, here's the problem. Like, every diner owner is a dude. Fuck off. Like, that's crazy. That's weird to have, because you stop at these diners to get missions. Everyone's a dude. That's ridiculous. Like, that's not okay. But
well, only men are allowed to own diners. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, they're the boss. They have to be a man. I think that would be a great story. You flip the gender because it's like it is about these weird rich kids. I think that the what you're saying would be a great game. I know I wouldn't deny that at all. I just think that like I also think that the big world implications are the really like fighting back against. I also hear what you're saying too about that the conflict itself is not. If we're doing a realistic world, it's like not even really germane to the problems of that realistic world, right? Like,
yeah, for me, again, big thing.
How is magic and kings and stuff actually affecting these roadways and shit, right? Like, that's an implication,
right? Or it's like I said, like, and I could be wrong about this. And there's also, I know they've added cutscenes and story elements to the Royal Edition that I haven't seen, but my memory of like a lot of the major story bits where you encounter the Empire, like in cutscene, is they're usually like stopping your progress for whatever reason. And then you walk up and you're like, hey, like I need to get by. And usually it's Arden who's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, come on through. And it's like, okay, so why does the Empire exist? And I don't want to spoil things for you, but they stop that part of the story in the weakest way that I have probably ever seen in an RPG, where it's like, oh, you didn't even try that. Wow. Okay. But again, Arden is one of my favorite Final Fantasy villains. He's incredible. And I think you keep him, you just have him be like, yo, I poisoned your father. And like, I tried to take over your kingdom while you were gone. And then you're like, oh, motherfucker, it's on.
A Hamlet. Listen, honestly, doing this a little bit more Hamlet style would have been really good too. And I'm not sure why that isn't the case here. I'm not sure why the relations aren't more secret. And it seems to be that they're always setting up deceptions. And that does also seem like a more intimate, that should be a more intimate setting versus this road trip setting. Like you're saying, I could see that complaint as well. It doesn't narratively either, like you're saying, like the tensions between people don't actually play out as tensions. They play out as like assumed tropes, and also assumed tropes that when they're dropped on you, you're like, yeah, I guess like that's how Noctis feels about it. I don't know that if I was given a test before this scene, would I have understood that? Or I guess that's how the Empire works. If you were to quiz me right before, I don't know that I would be like, of course. But I see the whole thing as, if you realify it too much, I don't know. I don't have too much of a problem with the story. I honestly just feel like your story would be great too. I just think this story's cool. I think it's very typical, but at the same time, like there's this atypical setting and there's an aloofness to our characters that is probably why I like it, that they are sort of aloof and ignorant to the world in a lot of ways, right? Like he's having like a fight with his dad over the car when they get there and shit. Like it's like stupid. I kind of like the aloofness and that it's irrelevant to what Noctis is doing. I think that's probably why I'm enjoying it versus you're being like, every time it comes up, you're like, but what's the fucking deal? You know?
And again, I can't stress enough how different the versions of the game that we're playing are. But because at the time it was like, okay, so I had to buy a movie to watch the beginning of the story, and then also there's parts in the middle of the story where characters just leave, and there's no explanation about that because it was DLC later on, which is in your version of the game.
Yeah,
and then there's an entire chapter that you haven't gotten to yet, where it's like in the original version of the game, it was like almost zero storytelling. And
I want to say something about the DLC. Some of this DLC has been unacceptable.
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
That is my only negative about the game. I've enjoyed them either way because I'm really into it, and it's more of an RPG is like always what you want. Some of this shit is unplayable in a real problematic way, in a way that's like, are you fucking kidding? Like some of it plays like educational PC games. Like honestly, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
Sure.
And that's not okay. And the stories in them are dog shit, even though they seem really interesting. And the challenge, obviously I'm playing on whatever difficulty. I think there is a difficulty mode in it for some reason, but it makes no difference. It's like in game, it's like an easy game. Like Julian said, like it's like auto combat, but like it was not even interesting combat. It was like, it wasn't like there was no value to some of them. I will say that.
Sure.
Like,
but at the moment in 2016, being like, well, what did that character do? And then finding out, oh, that was that's DLC later. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a chapter that you're coming to where the original version was like straight up missing shit that they went back and like added a bunch of stuff to that I haven't seen yet. So I'm curious to see like if that makes it better or like to me. But again, there are parts of that game that I love, and again, love those main characters, love the villain. I love the road trip aspect, like driving down the highway listening to Final Fantasy IV tunes while they're just like kind of cutting wise is really fun. And the cooking shit is fun, and the camping, and I got really big into like the photos and stuff like that. No, there's a lot of great things in there.
I already filled that shit up.
Yeah,
I already filled that shit up. Literally having to delete shit is bullshit. I don't know why I can't. Why didn't you upgrade that?
That's actually kind of
a fucking photo space. Are you kidding? Like I literally have been which I never fucking do. Like taking screenshots on the screenshot button,
right?
Just because I want to do more photos.
Yeah,
and it's
did they not add like just like a bespoke photo mode to it that's like separate from Prompto just randomly taking photos?
Oh no, yeah, there is, but you only can save 200 photos. So I'm in third act. Like I'm done. I'm filled up with space at this point. With 200 photos, like, because then if Prompto takes a good one, like you might want to save it because it's still you in action, which is really cool.
Yeah,
that it's like actually things you did, and like then if you take one, you want to save it. So I've just been like, can you see? It always says like your screenshot has been uploaded to the Xbox network. Can you see like what I'm playing on Xbox, Julian, and B, can you see my screenshots? Like, is that possible for you to see?
I think you have to share them on the network. Like basically because Elon Musk is a fucking asshole and
the API.
and everybody took out the Twitter functionality to the share buttons on their controllers.
It's called API. He started charging for his API. Yeah.
So the apps became the workaround where it uploads it to your Xbox app and then you can like save the picture and post it wherever you want. That's what I do now for sharing screenshots. But I don't think like I'm probably, depending on your settings, I can probably see what you're playing when you're on.
Because I didn't know if you knew that I was playing Final Fantasy 15. I didn't know if maybe you'd known that. Because like I saw that like some people have it where you can see their games.
I don't because I don't have a lot of people that like I don't end up checking my friends' profiles on Xbox as much as PlayStation these days because everything is flipped so wildly. Where most of my friends are playing on PlayStation.
Interesting.
So it's rare that I actually end up checking. And usually when I do, it's like everybody's on like YouTube or Netflix.
It's so interesting because that's why I check yours. Because I'm just like, oh, I forgot I have this friend functionality.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Julian's on YouTube again. Oh, Julian's on YouTube again.
Let's talk about the outfits, and I would like Justin Ham to weigh in on this. I would like if everybody could look at the outfits for the game while we're talking about it, and we could put stuff in the chat. Because I really have a lot of opinions about these outfits, and you saying that you don't like the outfits is like, can we look up like what? So 2016? Can we get some going in the chat? 2016 FF15 wardrobe.
My problem with like the main wardrobe is that they're all wearing black.
Okay,
and
what's the problem with that?
It's boring. And it's like, I know Tetsuya Nomura always wanted to be a fashion designer. It's like, okay, go off King, go leave Square Enix and go design fashion. That's fine. I've been sick of his character designs since 1999. And like 15 was like one of the most egregious things where I'm like, oh, you're not even like, okay, like everybody's wearing basically the same shit. And yeah, I know there's like in the original version of the game, like they had like their not black item, like they each had like what, like basically in the original version of the game, you unlocked like a second outfit. And I think that was it. And then DLC came out later where they were adding more outfits. Like I remember like there was like the Assassin's Creed event.
Some dumb shit now.
Yeah, you can get the Half-Life suit in on PC on Steam.
Yeah, dumb stuff. But the good stuff I believe was in the game when you came with that. I think I got one cool outfit. I don't know, but you get a lot of dumb stuff through the DLC.
Yeah.
The boys have some fucking honestly. I really think that now knowing where fashion is now and now knowing fashion at the time, I really feel like this game should be huge amongst younger players because this game is like, they look fucking fly as hell. I dropped in the chat what I believe we both saw.
Have you been introduced to Kingdom Hearts?
Nobody looks like this in Kingdom Hearts. This is incredible.
Listen, that's what the kids are into. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules.
This type of shit is like very Gen Z young millennial shit that is in right now.
Michael, listen. The kids love Kingdom Hearts.
That's fine. They don't dress that way at the mall. Like, let's talk about mall culture a second in Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, let's talk about mall culture in 2025.
Yes,
culture
exactly.
Of the malls.
These are relics of the past. That's exactly my point. This is like, these are goth kids at the Berkshire Mall. This is incredible. Are you looking at the image or are you just ignoring the homework? Is that what you saw when you played the game?
Yeah.
This is fucking incredible. Let's talk about
my issue, like
Gladio for a second.
My issue is not like the actual like articles of clothing that they're wearing. If they had a different color scheme to show personality, that would be perfectly fine. If it was the exact same outfits,
those are formal wear. They're King's Guard outfits. Like that's not. They can't choose personality. They're in military uniform.
No, they're not King's Guard.
Yes, they are. Those outfits are fucking labeled as like as specifically Royal Army shit in the game.
But they're different but they're different outfits
because they all hold different positions in the army.
Okay, fine.
They're all from different departments in the army. Noctis is part of the High Command. Gladio is part of the King's Guard. Ignis is like, I think, intelligence.
You could just splash a little fire engine red in there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the one
That's
guy
why
has
you've got to
white-
customize
He
your
has a
car.
white belt.
And I did customize my car because I was like, man, everything is black.
No, it's not black. They wear like Gen Z gym core, like goth core type stuff. They wear
It's
like
black.
no, some of it's white, some of it's like Abercrombie and Fitch
Yeah,
stuff.
the alternate outfit is white. Yeah, and so the second that I was able to change,
But it looks
I like
like
changed two of them to
people-
that.
It's listen, it's Jersey Shore, the Final Fantasy, and I love it. And
That's fine.
It's so good. The whole vibe of it with those outfits, it makes those outfits that they're rich douches who spend their money on fucking Ed Hardy. That's like a huge part of the appeal to me. That they're not pleasant people. I don't want them to really succeed in life other than they seem to be in charge of stuff and they seem to be relatively nice.
Okay, now, they are pleasant people. That's
No,
like
they're not like good people. They're not like people I want to root for. They're a bunch of like
what the fuck?
they're a bunch of rich kids. They have a nice
I'm
they have
loving
a
this.
nice
They
have a nice
The
personality.
only
I would
redeeming
I've just
quality of them is how likable they are.
I'm just sitting back and just listening to this, and I'm just enjoying every minute of it because it's
Is
so
this what
much
it feels
fun.
like to be you every time, Justin?
Yeah, it is, and I'm so glad to be off the hook this time.
I'm
It's
winning a
really
lot of-
relaxing.
I'm winning a
honest to
lot
God.
of Justin's points, hanging out, smoking cigarettes, and
I
now
wish,
like
I
just
wish I was
entertaining
in a
them.
place where I could smoke right now. That would be
Now I'm pissing
phenomenal.
off Julian instead of him. My point is, it's not about their personalities. I do love. That's what I compared them to Kyle from Summer House, who is from a reality show about these
mhm.
rich kids that live and hang out together.
Summer House, Julian. I don't know if
Yeah.
you knew about it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Or
a big
Jersey
touch
Shore.
point for
Everybody
us.
knows Jersey Shore. What about Jersey Shore?
No,
I fucking
no,
hate the people in Jersey Shore.
Yes, exactly. But if
Summer House. You remember when
if
they ate
you
that
watch-
watermelon that one time? It was good.
There is a watermelon
I'm
incident.
just
Would you
gonna
like
start
me to
making
tell you?
up things, and it'll probably be right.
Would you
That's
like
what's
my?
going to be
Listen,
fantastic.
if you had to edit me down, Julian, and I peaked because we were yelling just there, I will show you how to like make my specific mic sound unpeaked.
Mike, you
I
remember
wasn't
that?
looking at my levels.
I've been editing fucking podcasts for 13 years. I think I can figure it out, Mike.
I'm saying it as I'll do it because I was peaking
No,
and we got carried away.
Do you
Julian.
remember that one time in Summer House when they had the freeze pops because it was a hot day, and they had to cool themselves off, and then the one guy he spilled the freeze pop melted a little bit and it came off and it popped off and then it landed inside of his shirt, so he had to take his shirt off, and then the one girl was like, "That's cool." Remember that?
There was
That was hot.
well, there was a
She
scene
might
where
have. I don't
when
remember.
there was a scene when Kyle launched
Mhm.
Loverboy, his sparkling.
Was everybody working for the weekend?
They only go there on the weekend. Yes,
They
so that
were-
is also
so they
true
were-
about Summer House.
Was everybody needing a
Has
new
there
romance?
ever been a good Kyle?
No, I did.
No,
I
I'm
did. I
trying to
did. I was
think
going
now.
through them.
It's a great question, actually.
Kyle Gass of Tenacious D.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
it though, and I don't know too much about him. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not about their actual, like on Jersey Shore. If you watch Jersey Shore long enough, you understand how Snooki is really lovable. She is very lovable. She's very likable. My point is, it's about like, I don't necessarily, there's nothing inherent about the story of these. Like you talk about these tropes that movies usually use, which is like the poor child who wants to escape a dangerous situation, the hungry family that has to whatever, the clashing lovers, whatever it is. This game is just basically, the story of the game is just basically a bunch of rich kids are unduly put in charge of the world. They're pretty nice guys if you know them, they're just pretty chill dudes, but they have this huge responsibility and clearly people fuck stuff up and there's all sorts of betrayal between other rich peoples. And these are the guys in charge. So you're rooting for them. But other than that, but other than that, there's no like something I'm pulling for them. I don't want they seem to be on the side of good. That's great. So I kind of like it as this thing of like, this huge empire is involved, which is ridiculous and absurd when you're literally wearing like clothing from Spencer's. Like that to me is this crazy juxtaposition about like
You can't.
the real world in terms of like you.
Listen. There's none of them. Okay. Now I
How
draw
many
a line.
world
I
leaders
draw a
have been
line
to
here.
Disney World?
None of them are wearing clothing from Spencer's, sir. There is no clever slogan on any of these shirts. that I see.
Yeah, Gladiolus is not wearing a shirt that says "slut" on it.
I'm just saying.
He could.
Yeah.
Though.
He should
I would
be.
like that. I would enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's my point. Is that a shirt? That is my point. Is that a Gladiolus wearing a shirt that says "slut" in this world would be rad. And I like that part of this game. I like it a lot. And so the more ridiculous the power they have, and the more Final Fantasy-ish they are with that power, the more I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, have the weird empire there, and you're dressed literally like an Abercrombie and Fitch commercial. Like,
Yeah,
I like
all I'm
that.
saying is
Lid's ad.
I wanted them to look different from each other, to show more personality, like in their wardrobes.
But what does it make you think of, the fact that in this world, when someone is dressed up for a military job, they dress like a kid at the mall with a wallet chain?
But they're not. Okay,
That's a military position. Gladiola is wearing an open, like he has huge chest, huge abs, and an open button shirt and leather pants, and that's the King's Guard. That's what Secret Service dresses like in that world. So there's a bunch of dudes dressed that way. That's so trippy to me.
I do not recall anybody else dressing that way. Now, again, it's been 10 years since I played it, so my memory could be foggy on that part.
I don't think they show that so often, but in lore, that's how it should be.
Is that the like
So
the guy
wait.
the guy who's like the second command to the king, that kind of is your kind of you run into him a few times, where he's kind of like
Captain. Captain, like he's got a dope name. He's like the unkillable or something.
That's the uniform, like what he's wearing.
Captain Immortal.
Because they're dressed for a trip.
Captain Immortal.
I always love these moments when Mike kind of does this thing where you kind of realize that sometimes he's just making it up as he goes.
I'm not.
Where he said where all of a sudden he was like, in lore, that's how it should be. It's like, okay, so it isn't actually how it is. It's just how it should be.
No, Justin, when you go to the outfits, I'm
just like, he's like, well, I made up this whole scenario in my head, so obviously it's true. It's great. It's
honestly,
blinking,
that's
you'll miss
my
it.
reality.
He does it all the time.
Yeah.
It's blinking, you'll miss it. And normally I don't call it out. Normally I just kind of go, "That's funny," and I just move on.
It's like when Mike is listening to the podcast and he's answering back to us.
Yes.
And then he comes back to talk to us. He's really heated about the conversation that we didn't actually have.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, my point is this: is that when you load those outfits, Justin, they say, this is like the standard fatigue. This is the standard uniform. This is the standard like battle ready uniform or whatever. Or like, it's like, it is labeling them. So listen, if they don't show that, then that's not my fault. They're not labeling it douchey shirt with lots of belts. They're writing, this is what the Royal Snipers wear. Like, that's what they write.
It doesn't change the fact for me that it's like, it's all just fucking black. Again, I just want a little bit of differentiation between them.
It's all camo in the army. It's all camo in the army.
And I hate camo in the army.
But that's
I don't want to play a game where like everybody's wearing the same fatigues.
But too bad. All these games have been about knights. All these games have been about military men. They easily could have done the same right? Like the bad guys, they do dress as just like someone from the cover of like Black Ops. Like that's how the bad guys dress. Like our guys could have dressed that way too. And that would have been them in the army. It's always been about princes and generals and soldiers.
I ask you to go back and look at those old character designs and see how different all the characters look from each other, and how it plays into personality and character. That's my point. Yeah,
but that's not how friends work, especially in like the upper middle class, which these are like high class. These are like, I don't even know what this is like 1%ers basically. Like they all do dress.
We're done. Justin, what have you been up to? I can't with this anymore.
They dress the same. They follow the same fashions. They dress in the same. They're not.
And I don't want to watch a thing with them either, dude.
Why aren't goths loved? Why don't you love goths? Why can't they be goth? Answer that. Why can't they all be goth? Why can't the main characters all be goth?
Even goths, like if you see a group of goths, like they're gonna have like differentiating styles between them, and like there's gonna be like some colored and different shit.
Listen,
that is true.
The character customization could have been better. I have to be honest. even the weapons and stuff like that. I'm not wild about the weapon selection. I think they added more probably from everything you're saying in this than you had. There is like a character. Did you have a character where you could go and have them make weapons?
I think so, because I do remember like because my problem with Final Fantasy since 10 has been that they've really significantly scaled back the concept of equipment to the point where it's like not even like worth talking about anymore. Like by the time you get to 16, it's like a fucking joke. So that's
okay. That was how I kind of felt. I felt like it was busy work to just switch the weapons. I felt it was kind of like
it's like the number goes up and there's
no real choice to it though. It's just kind of like I guess this one's better. And then even when you try to metagame it and being like, well, this one says this power, but it's like always like fine.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of like end game shit where it's like extra, you can really like put together like real broken shit for the characters if you're really like trying, but you don't need to.
Okay, let's talk about stuff that is easier to like and agree upon.
No, let's talk about something that's not Final Fantasy 15 because I would like to.
Oh, come on! I finally play a Final Fantasy game. We could talk
about it for like the last hour and a half.
That is true. It if not longer, actually.
Can I list a bunch of stuff I like rapid fire about the game?
You have exactly. And
we'll see if I'm not just doing it to do it. I don't need to just talk.
Okay.
If I say
start
something
at 52 on this clock. Hold on. You got 5, 4, 3, 2,
go.
1, go.
If any of these things grab your interest, we can talk about them. I liked having to sleep. I felt that was very traditional RPG stuff, kind of reimagined. I thought that was cool. I really enjoyed the chocobos, which I generally am not a huge fan of the system of lesser power, like making me go slower, but I thought it was really cool. I thought they were like fun to interact with. I like their colors are very, very pretty. Any thoughts? Any better chocobos?
I think I rode chocobos once in that game.
You've got 30 seconds, Mike. Let's keep it moving.
I think the game's cute. I think the music's good. I think that chick is hot. I think all the main characters are hot.
There you go.
Music is great.
I like the dog. The music's fantastic. It's really cool. I like the interactability in the world. They're kind of annoying, but they say fun stuff. I like the storytelling that way. I think it's fantastic. I love the Americana. I like going to Fantasy Miami. That was cool. The whole thing. Like the whole aesthetic. It's my favorite. I'm going to be doing a project. All right,
and
so
that's
now
time, but thank you.
Because now this is closing it. It has inspired me to do a project, an art project that I'm excited to tell people about here, which is I am going to take the characters of Summer House and draw them in Final Fantasy powers, because this show made me think about that. And so I will be posting about that. You will see it. We will have something to show soon, because I just love this aesthetic of modern douchery and Final Fantasy weapons.
Why not Summer House cross Final Fantasy 15, like an isekai? Like
Summer House sounds like the title of a porn game. I just every time that
really
Mike says it, like
really.
I mean, it's not that. There's a lot of nudity and like
either the Final Fantasy 15 world gets isekai'd into Summer House or vice versa.
It's got to because I have a name for it already, which is going to be Thunder House. Okay. And so I think it's got to be that the kids from Summer House get isekai'd into Final Fantasy 15.
All right, I'm here.
And they're
for
at the castle and shit, and they
all eat watermelon,
ordering burgers and eating watermelon.
No, I think it should just be about I think it should just be pages upon pages of them eating watermelon, and everybody's left confused at the end of it.
And every once in a while, someone picks up a Buster Sword to like cut off a piece.
They don't even do that.
No, they just
them eating watermelon. That's it.
It would be a good show.
I would watch it.
But I love Final Fantasy 15. It's incredible, best Final Fantasy I've ever played in my life.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That is an unhinged take, but go off.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'll talk about one thing real quick, and then because I'm tired now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I'm tired now.
We rode you and put you back dry.
I'm talking about one thing.
But it's not even Scoster Day yet.
It's not. It's not.
Isn't it?
And it's not about to be because apparently YouTube hates it.
No, it's fine now.
Oh, is it?
We only got dinged because it was so early in that episode.
Oh, okay.
Because it hasn't happened on any other episode that it happened.
Well, I didn't get my nap today, so that's what's been going on.
I also did not take my nap today,
Yeah.
but it's because I wanted to play my game so badly.
There you go.
What game did you play?
Death Stranding 2.
Oh yeah. Julian has stuff
Awesome.
going on, so I'll keep mine short. I'll save a lot of my stuff for next week. But the big thing that I did that people I guess would be interested in is video game wise is I got a Switch 2.
Hey now.
Yeah.
How'd you acquire it? I'm actually like just random online, or did you walk into a store?
Online. And it kind of had to like reserve it or whatever, and then all of a sudden it was open, and I was like, all right, yeah, fuck it, we'll do it.
Wait. More.
What do you mean?
That was it? You just saw it and you like just randomly did it?
Yeah, pretty
Why
much.
were you looking?
I was thinking about doing it because I was bored. And,
Right.
Yeah, you know.
So
I myself went out looking for one on 2 separate occasions.
Stop it.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So I have one now.
No, it's not awesome, Mike. I did it because I'm depressed, which is the reason why the last 2 Nintendo consoles were purchased out of depression. The Wii U and the Switch were both done because I was in a bad place.
I don't even really know why I did it. I just did it. Yeah. So I have one of those now. It's fine. It's that's kind of my take on it. It's fine. I'm not like over the moon about it. I know it's one of those things where I'm like, eventually this will be a thing that I play and use, and that's great because I was gonna do it. Of course I'm gonna do it. But like right now, there's nothing to fucking do on it, really.
What have you been doing?
I mean, there's Mario Kart World. That's really kind of it. Unless you haven't played, like for you, Mike, it'd be perfect because you're like, oh, I have access to all this stuff that I didn't have access to.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, yeah, I've played Cyberpunk like 3 or 4 fucking times now. I don't really need to play that again.
Especially not for $10 more than the
right?
PlayStation 5
what
copy.
What are we doing? I don't really care for the fact that Zelda has slightly better frame rate or whatever on it. I don't give a shit. I didn't really like it with a bad frame rate, so why would I like it even anymore?
Especially forking over $20 for it.
Exactly, for more money. Like, of course I'm not going to do that. So really, there's only Mario Kart World, which came with it. So fantastic. And that game is fine. It's not. I will have to come back when I've played it with anyone else. But playing it by yourself is just like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
When's
it.
the next time you'll get to play with the small child in your life?
Yeah, there's that. I have
what, like November probably.
Right. I have
July 4th?
Actually it will probably be November.
Not July 4th?
No. They live in South Carolina, so that's why they don't make it up here very often. But like I have friend hangouts now, so I'm that was another reason why I kind of wanted to get one. Was I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could play the new Mario Kart with like, people. That would be fun.
Bro, I'll come by.
Yeah, stop on by, man. It'll be fine.
When do you want to play Mario Kart? Wait, like let's do it on air.
Yeah,
it's Friday.
No,
I'm saying it is
I don't want
Friday.
to do that. But
isn't this bizarre and weird if we do it on air? That's what I'm saying. It's like a unique experience.
Is it?
I don't know if it's good, but like people wouldn't get it.
I don't think it'd be
else.
very good, actually.
I mean, it would be so cringe to do also in front of Julian.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty bad. But like, yeah, no.
I like that Mike has this concept of like, oh, Julian's gonna be so fucking jealous if we hang out. Like, he's just gonna make him seethe.
No, I meant like you having to have dumb conversations that are like, okay, so like I think I have a thing Thursday in the morning. Like I just meant it's embarrassing being perceived by like anyone when you're doing dumb, annoying like scheduling stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I hadn't thought about it like that until now. So thank you.
Yeah.
Now now I'm realizing that people are listening to this, and
Yeah.
now I'm bothered.
Yeah. But anyway, Mario Kart World. It's fine. It's a Mario Kart. That's really all you can say about it. It looks good. The frame rate's fine. All the like, but at the same time, there's really like, I beat all the Grand Prix or whatever, and I guess I can keep going and making them more difficult as I go or whatever. But
I mean, I gotta say that blows if you already finished all the missions.
Like, yeah, like
that's sort of fucking.
I didn't finish all the missions. There's like the open world thing.
Okay.
And that's where it has all like the challenge stuff, and that's probably stuff like you would get into, right?
Right.
I think the open world.
I mean, I'm being fucking explicit that if you've just bought this thing on a fucking whim and you've seen every part of the world already,
no, I'm sure there's stuff that like because they has like a big open world element to it that you can just drive the Mario Kart around and do Mario Kart stuff, I guess, and do little challenge missions.
Okay.
Like wall riding on a thing or something like that. There is stuff in that.
Yeah, Justin approaches games in a real different way, where it's like once Justin has experienced what he's there to experience, that he's done.
Yeah,
so
I don't give a shit about the open world part and doing all the challenge stuff because I just don't care. In fact, like going from point to point to find that stuff in the Mario Kart open world, I just find dull as shit.
I actually do have an important question about that.
Sure.
How do you find it compared to Forza Horizon 5? Because you love the shit out of Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, that was fun. That always seemed like you were doing something like kind of entertaining. That I liked that game, but that one, the difference between Forza Horizon and Mario Kart World's open world stuff is Mario Kart is just like, it's a challenge that's real quick, right? Like you're going there and it's like, okay, you hit the little, like it's those little power switch things or whatever. You hit one of those and now you're going to do a challenge. Okay, ride this waterfall right on the wall and do a thing, go through a couple loops or get through this part of this track really quick or whatever, right? Sure, fine. Forza Horizon was like, hey, there's this race over here that you want to do. But on the way, there's this other stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. I'll do that. And then I'll get to the race. But there's no race to get to in Mario Kart. And I think that's its biggest like thing. It'd be cool if like you were like, oh yeah, there's a race over here that I need to do. And you went to that. Like if they actually designed it, like I think it'd be actually pretty sweet if they like based it on something like Horizon or something like that. But they don't. They just went, nah, it's open and Mario's driving around and you can go find him. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but what can I do when I find Mario? I don't know, look at him. You can drive around with him. That's cool, right? Like,
yeah.
No, it's actually not that cool. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, why would I care? Like,
it's like when you got 120 stars in Mario 64 and it's like, hey, look, Yoshi's on the roof.
Yeah, because like I found somebody just driving around. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a character. Like, can I like challenge them to a race or anything? No. You can just race. They're just here. Like, okay, fuck. What are we doing? Like, it's such a bland mode to me. And I think that's its main draw. Well, the big thing people go on about is knockout mode, and knockout mode's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to ask about, because that did sound like a really fun new addition to Mario Kart.
It's a neat thing. I think that one I definitely would want to try with like more than just me. I tried it like once and I was like, yeah, there's something to this. I think that's pretty cool. But like, yeah, it'd be fun with like multiple people or even like online or something like that.
Sure.
Because knockout mode, Mike, is like, they put like, because it's open world, they link all the tracks together. And so it's just one big race, and then you have to be in a certain position to keep going. Like, so you have to be in the top 20 for the first part, and then the top 10, cool. And then so on and so forth. Or else it knocks you out. That's the knockout mode. There you go.
Did you at all look what else there actually is? I mean, everybody's like, there's nothing on it. Like, is there actually anything else on it? Like, what's the deal? Is it literally just, do you know what I mean? Is it like there's that fucking game you can play that goes in the Nintendo, right?
My feeling is that they have created the framework for the next 10 years of Mario Kart DLC.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that's the big thing is that I'm sure there's going to be a shit ton of stuff in that world to do over time, but what you have at launch is like the framework basically, and what you would expect from an out of the box Mario Kart experience, but not necessarily like next gen Mario Kart.
Yeah, that costs $80 or whatever.
Yeah, that's my question. Does it feel next gen? Like you literally have a
no, it does not.
5.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels like a Mario Kart game. Like there's seriously nothing really like special about it to me personally.
Interesting.
Yeah, it feels like Mario Kart, and that's fine. But like, there's like their big thing, and this was I think something that they actually said is like, well, once you guys see the game, you'll understand why it's like $80. Okay, like you're really gonna. And I was like, no, actually. I don't. I super fucking don't understand why this is an $80 video game. Like you mentioned Forza Horizon 5 or any of those games like that. It's like there's a lot more to do in these games. Like I was constantly like, oh yeah, let's do this next thing and this thing. And then like even if you didn't like a thing, right? Like you're like, oh, this type of race or this type of challenge or whatever isn't particularly my thing, but these over here really are fucking cool and really fun. I'm going to do these for a while. There's nothing,
and you're
like
constantly unlocking cars, and you're getting money and like all sorts of shit, like constantly. Like it's sort of like the Blizzard style of gameplay of game design, where it's like you're always getting that little bit of dopamine,
right?
Like
and it keeps you going, and that's really fun. And like
that definitely is going to be caused by not racing against people yet,
right?
Because like for a long time in those games, that's where you get like it's like the main way in most of these games is like time spent racing, like gets you a lot of shit or like miles or whatever. So like when you are racing against people, you are constantly even I'm still unlocking stuff on the last Mario Kart.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There is unlocks in it. I've gotten most of the characters already, and all I did was beat the 5 like Grand Prix. That was it. That's all I had to do. There's like 5 unlockable characters. I'm not saying that there won't be more. Like Mario Kart, you're talking about 8 Deluxe, right? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is that one?
Yeah,
you're talking about?
We as well. The more you raced and the more you like, it was like bananas hit and stuff like that. Jesus, why do I keep fidgeting with this? Like that's you unlock like tires in the or bodies or kits or decals. You're like always unlocking them.
You'll get some new Mario the carts or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think I've already unlocked all of or most of those. This one, it seems it's more concerned about how many coins you pick up.
Well, the style of Mario Kart is actually like for the like different types of carts, it doesn't have like a question mark. It would just show up. Yeah. So I think that was where you get that dopamine hit, is like if you were racing all the time, it would constantly be unlocking. I feel you might be missing out on stuff.
No, I don't think I am actually. Because it's I already unlocked.
That sucks.
I actually looked it up. Because I was like, okay, well, how do I unlock stuff? I looked up a lot of the character. It's like, oh yeah, you beat the Grand Prix, and I was like, oh okay, I did that. So I unlocked all these. There's certain ones that are a little harder to unlock, but I randomly did unlock some of that stuff. There's like some costume stuff that you can unlock for characters by getting, I don't know what it's called, like the fucking food or whatever, and they'll transform into a little costume, and then you unlock that costume. There is enough of that to where I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't really care about that.
Right.
And like the carts is like, I think that's coin related, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but all the carts are fucking kind of the same. They just look different. Like you look at the stats, it's like, okay, there's nothing. This doesn't really add anything to like the gameplay. Yeah. And I get it's Mario Kart. They're all kind of supposed to be the same.
In the Mario Kart for the Switch. People might not know this. Like seeing the stats is not the default mode of looking at the parts of your car.
Right.
It default is like, you don't want to see the information about this.
Right.
You can turn it on and it automatically turns off too. Like, it's not like a setting you do once. It's
Right.
like you are constantly being like, get this thing out of your way. You don't want to know the info. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter. It really is all about your like sense of timing. Like, you can race with any of them.
Right.
It's out now bullshit.
It's a visual thing more than anything.
Yeah,
But still.
Can I ask a weird question? Is there load time?
Excuse me.
Whoa.
Trying to think if there's they're not bad if there is, but I think there is a little bit of that, especially going into the open world, but it's nothing crazy. It's actually pretty decent.
That's like,
at least
that's
in my
like a
memory.
thing I'm concerned about with the Switch 2 and buying the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like I don't want load times. That's like the deal with Nintendo. Like,
yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure. Because like, yeah, I played it for a day and I was like, I had a time with that. That was fine. And then I turned my Switch 2 off and I really haven't turned it back on yet. And that's kind of the story of the Switch 2 to me right now. I'm like, would I suggest anybody else out there buy one? I don't know if I would. I think you can wait until actual video games that you want to play come out.
They really should have delayed it to July and had it launched with Mario Kart and Donkey Kong.
That would have been good. Yeah.
It would have been a lot harder for me to resist because that Donkey Kong game looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks really yeah, sure. That's a fun video game to play.
It would have gotten it away from not E3 time also, so like people could have actually like done like interesting coverage of it. And
right.
Yeah, and honestly, like I meant to mention this last episode, but it's like I actually think that we should probably push not E3 to July because it seems like a lot of companies have like stuff there. Well, it'll be ready in July.
Yeah,
I don't know. It seems like June is a little bit too early for everybody.
It might be. Yeah.
And there were E3s that used to happen in July. June was kind of the go-to, but sometimes it'd be July. I don't know. It just seems like the James they're gonna IO is gonna show the James Bond game in July. Sony's gonna show Ghost of Yotei in July.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong's coming out in July. Like it just seems like things would have been better to be pushed just a little bit. And it's been that way for a couple years.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What do you guys think? Did you talk at all about the fact that they didn't give out like sample consoles?
No, because it's not really germane to us.
Yeah.
I take it back. We did mention it because we were talking about during the non E3 stuff. Yeah, because it's like the first time in like 20 years, like I guess since the Wii, that Nintendo has not like put, given review consoles and review code or games to like the media outlets to review ahead of time.
Everybody's in Nintendo jail. Shut up about it.
Yeah, like nobody, and so you couldn't look at reviews for anything.
No,
it is kind of weird for console launch type stuff because it's like if you didn't pre-order it, then you're not going to be able to get one immediately anyway. So it's kind of moot, but it's still nice to have.
Yeah, should be noted. Like, not to bury Mario Kart any more than I already have. It's a fine game. It's a perfectly competent video game that people that like Mario Kart will probably think is fine. But I have noticed like just scrolling Reddit when I see sometimes the Mario Kart Reddit will pop up and people were really pissed about the most recent update because Nintendo is doing that thing that I feel like we all love in quotes when video game companies do this, where people found a thing that was fun to them and then Nintendo went ahead and just patched that right out of there. And I'm like, yep. They're like, no, you will play it the way we intended you to.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
I can't remember.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but I just remember people being pissed. Like they were like, yeah, this sucks. Like really hate this update. Really not happy about it because for that and that was the reason they explained. I'd have to know the game more intimately to really give you the details on it.
Well, even listening to like people on podcasts who are huge Mario Kart fans, a lot of it has been like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Not much further than that. It's I kind of expected especially with like it being this push to open world. It's like, oh, they're gonna do some shit with this game.
I thought so too. When I thinking of the like when they revealed it and the concept and stuff, I was like, okay, yeah, you can do some shit with that. That sounds like a really cool idea. Just thinking of like, oh yeah, if you have this big open world, how you can weave tracks together and all this stuff like that, and just have them loop around and do big things, or have like a big go around the world race or something like that. That'd be really
that'd be cool. Yeah,
but there's nothing like that in there, like it'd be so much fun if like that was the single player mode, was like go do the open world thing, and here's a race over here that you can get into, and just that's it, or here's a little challenge, or here's this. Like if it was filled with stuff to do, that'd be great, but they don't really do that. And it's telling to me. It's almost like they thought about it. They wanted to do it, but at some point they just went, it's either too much work or we'll just do it later.
They should have a part where you drive from the Mushroom Castle, the Mushroom Kingdom Castle, to Bowser's Castle.
Yeah,
and your cart just drifts slightly to the right.
That'd be great.
Just slightly to
I'm
the
into
right.
It. It's a straight line. Yeah, that'd be great.
Did y'all play that?
Yeah.
Desert Bus?
Oh, we did play Desert Bus. That did happen. Yeah.
I haven't listened to the show this week.
That's a Trevor Select.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
I know what I'm saying. But I didn't even hear the spillover from it.
Yeah, it's something. To get to that open world thing, it's kind of like buried in the menu. Like it's like, oh, you press this button to go to the open world part of it.
Oh,
it's not even like selected from the menu. It's like your typical like Grand Prix, your knockout mode, and then it's like I think multiplayer and options, and then underneath of that in the tiny print is like press this button and you'll go to the open world part of it. And I'm like,
wait, okay,
it's really weird.
Then I have no idea what this game is, because I thought you're in the open world and you're doing like, okay, here's this course, and you're doing this Grand Prix, and it's going to take you from this part of the map to this part of the map, and then to get to the next.
It kind of does, but it's still segmented off. Like
so, but you can't freely move around between those races.
I think you can, but there's no race happening when you're in the open world part of it. Does that make sense? Like there's like I think you can. I don't know. You'd have to play it to know what I mean here. It's really weird.
Well, but it just sounds like needlessly disconnected.
Like the modes are there, and they're. I think the tracks are connected, because knockout mode is like, oh, this is a big long road. This is a big long stretch of these tracks. But the open world part of it is just like, yeah, there's all the tracks are here, and you can go to them. And we have little challenges set up, but there's no race that you can get into when you get there. There's there's like challenges. That's it. And maybe maybe Koopa Trooper will be there, and you can look at him, see him. There he is. Look at him go.
Do you think I have avoided, like ads on this and whatever, just to like, I don't know. I don't want to think about it, and I don't want to hate it or whatever. I want to be like, because I know I'm not. I also don't want to think about wanting one. To be honest, is the big part of it. Like I really can't right now.
Super fair, yeah.
But like, do you think that they're going to do a Minecraft thing, like just artificially do this world of like building on it and they want it to be like you had to be there for like they updated it like that, because they have to do updates now. Maybe Nintendo is trying to be like, updates are going to be rad again.
I'm sure there at some point maybe that'll be a thing that they'll be like, oh, but wait till the 2.0 update, and then
they added like another like big set of DLC to Mario Kart 8 just a year and a half ago or so. So yeah, like I expect that like 5 years from now, like Mario Kart World is going to be like just like a huge amazing package.
Absolutely, it very well could be.
If you pay the $80 up front and then the additional like $120 to get all of the DLC.
Although, like one of the cool things I think in Mario Kart 8 or whatever is like they actually like almost made like a Smash Brothers type thing where they started going into other Nintendo games like, oh yeah, Zelda's here and all this stuff. That's not here anymore. And they like were adamantly against it, apparently. Like they don't want to do that. Now,
wait, what?
Whether they'll do it in DLC, I don't know.
They will, but their reasoning for not doing it out of the gate is so dumb.
Fucking stupid,
Wait,
right?
Zelda Link isn't in?
No.
No, because they didn't think that he would fit in the
He
Mushroom
wouldn't
Kingdom,
fit
Mike.
in the Mushroom Kingdom, Mike.
He's a Mario Kart racer.
No.
He's a racer.
Michael.
Like you can no more tell me
Michael.
why am I here? Why am I here in some segment having to fight for goth cute boys dancing around with swords?
Mhm.
And the whole world should be up in arms right now about the fact that fucking Link is not in Mario Kart.
No.
It's like a Mario Kart staple.
No, is he?
Well, it's only happened the one time.
It's only happened the one time, yeah.
That's crazy. Who would have thought that would go back on that?
Yeah.
Is Donkey Kong in it?
Donkey Kong is,
I
yeah.
think
Donkey
he
Kong
yes.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in the original. It kind of only makes sense if he's in it.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
That's wild to me that that's just going away. Why wouldn't you have more of that?
Yeah.
Why would you say open? This is my whole thing with Nintendo is why would you say open world when it's less open world?
They had like
Why
the
do you say
Splatoon guys
like-
and all that
Because
stuff.
you've
Pro,
got to
it's not
fork
pro.
over more money for it, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
$80 isn't enough.
Yeah, like really, we should be paying them at least twice that. You know.
Yeah.
I think they're playing some sort of psyop, like diversion kind of thing here. I think they're trying to be like, oh, but like Link is in it. Whoa, you get it for free.
Oh, it's not going to be for free. What are you talking
What are you-
about?
I
What are you,
think it is.
nuts?
I think it is. Because I think that I was thinking about this today. Like, people want to do these like developer updates, and you add like a little fucking button to the Roku or whatever, and they want you to be updating your phone all the time and to be wowed by like, ooh, Gmail has this new thing. Like, they have to do it in the tech world. So what if like Mario Kart's like secret little plan is like, we're gonna release this really great game, but it'll come out and it'll seem like whatever. But then by the time you get it, it will have all these features, but people will be like, yeah, but you got to get Nintendo games new because like
Mhm.
then it's in the moment and like all these changes happen. Like you're never going to get back there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason I would think that you would delay Donkey Kong 2 as well to like try and do something like try pull some stunt.
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me to do it. It seems like they're hiding something.
Maybe
yeah,
they are, maybe
they're
not.
hiding. They're hiding that you can pay $19.99 for new courses and like 4 new characters.
I don't know where Julian's at on my screen, but I'm just gonna point everywhere like the TikTok kids do, and maybe I'll point at him at one point. But yeah, what he said. That's the most annoying formatting, by the way, the TikTok thing of like, let me do this whole thing and point at I swear to God, I want to kill myself whenever I see it.
Oh my God. Just seeing you do it is so good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
that sucks
fucking
cock,
hate it.
guys.
You also have to be holding the lapel mic because, and then, you know, like just hold it, like, dude, people
I know.
just holding their microphones that are supposed to be stationary is like,
Something wacky.
It's
like it's
wild.
like it's this toy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then,
It's
you
like
got to
wacky
do
and
the.
there's a wire.
yeah, yeah.
This is my butt.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
taking a poop.
Right.
They're pointing up.
They're just pointing up. Oh my God, it's nuts. It's insane. What have we become?
This is. I'm holding a toy of Jiren.
Anyway,
as my
Mario
fun little toy.
Mario Kart World. It's a video game you can play. It's fine, I guess. If you like Mario Kart, you'll probably like it. If you bought a Switch
I really
2, you're
want to
probably
hear
playing
back
it.
when you play with the small baby.
Yeah.
I really want to hear back when you play with the baby.
My one compliment of the game is that the music's really good. There you go. Music's really good.
I would expect no less.
Yeah.
Oh man, can I ask you a
Fantastic.
question? Can I ask you a question? Because this is literally my biggest pet peeve with Mario Kart, and I think it's like straight up like laughable game design,
Okay.
honestly. And I don't think I can say anything about game design, and I think that's like I think it's ridiculous to think I would criticize the people who made Mario Kart like a perfect game,
Okay.
but I think this is stupid. At the end of every single race,
Mhm.
one, the last lap music is a lot of times the same, like almost identical.
Well, yeah, it's just
But it's sped up.
Sometimes it's like there's like too many like noises and cues, but it doesn't matter. When you finish a race, you're getting towards the end of it. This is the part that I think is idiotic. Whoever finishes first hears like that music, and then there's like loser music for everybody that doesn't come in first. I need to know if that happens in multiplayer when you play. So in
I
other
don't-
words, if we're playing together and you're in like first and someone's in fifth, the person who finishes first, it goes like woo boo ba blue
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it just plays like waiting in the elevator, like as the rest of the assholes finish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the stupidest things, and it takes everybody out of the game, especially since it's a multiplayer game. Like, and now you can play with tons of people. I want to know if they do that.
Mike, lest we forget, if you're not first, you're last. Okay.
True.
And they should be shamed for not coming in first. So
basically,
it's really on that. It's really their fault.
Yeah.
When all's said and done.
Yeah.
That's the Western way of thinking.
Yeah. I mean, if we've learned nothing from Ricky Bobby, then what are we even doing? You know.
Can't wait to get the posts from Weston.
I'm sure that's still the same. I know, like I've only played against the computer, and I mean, I haven't won every race, but usually, like, even finishing in like whatever place that your character's still super happy, which is weird to me. I'm like, I finished like 8th there. I don't know why. I'm real upbeat about it though. That's
the way it is in this one. Is what you're saying?
What's that?
Yeah, because they used to be mopey, right? If they didn't come in the first
sad.
3,
they like slam the dashboard.
I don't. Maybe it's because there's more character. Like there's 20 racers on the track now.
Can I tell you something about those scenes at the end of Mario Kart where they're like having an emote while they're driving?
Yeah,
that implies that in world they are on auto race,
right?
Because they're not driving anymore.
Yeah,
they're always like slamming the car. I mean, like hands on their hips and whatever. That means that they're also in auto, which means the cars can race themselves.
Yeah, they can.
That's pretty weird.
You're the car. You're not the character. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. That's Mario Kart World.
We're going kind of long, so I'll just talk about one of the 2 games that I got up to.
Okay.
And I am choosing to highlight the smaller of the 2 because there will be plenty of time.
There's plenty of time for the other one. Yeah, I agree.
And I do not want people to miss out on The Altars.
Okay.
Which is a game that came out on Game Pass last week, but also if you don't have Game Pass, it's only $34.99, and I think that is a hell of a price for a game where I played it on Monday when I was out of work, and it was one of those rare, beautiful times where I finished my session. I was like, holy shit, that was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that I had been playing it that long.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
So the setup is you play a builder named John Gholson who has signed up to go on this exploration mission to mine this like super hard to obtain resource out in space, and he nearly like his pod like crash lands, but he's okay, but the entire rest of the crew is dead. Like they didn't make it to the planet's surface, but the company had already set up the mobile base of operations for the mission.
Right.
And so you get there and you contact your base and they're like, hey, you got to get shit working. And I'm like, but I'm just one dude and I'm just a builder. And you're able to get a few things set up, but they're like, hey, the sun is about to rise in 7 days. And if you're in the spot that you're in right now, when it comes up, you're dead. And so it's like this immediate race to get the base moving before the sun comes up. And the company is like, hey, we're going to unlock this thing that you shouldn't know about, but if you go to the supercomputer, we've got your like memory print in there. And if you look at the history of your life, you can actually branch off of like certain like major life decisions, and the computer will extrapolate where your life would have taken you from that point. And so that's and you're going to clone yourself, but you're going to make an alter of yourself that has a different skill set than you do.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Fuck yeah.
And Justin,
yeah,
the game is the fucking Sims combined with a survival game, but also a really cool, compelling story. And that's been the hook for me.
Yeah, is
that I've been saying for a couple of years now that I like the concept of a survival game, but I need more to like really propel me through. And this has got that.
That's cool.
So you clone yourself, and like the first one that you make, like this is you can only choose. The first one is technician. And to help you like get stuff running. And even though you're the same person, because he's gone through different things, he's got a very different world outlook, and he's got like a different personality entirely. He's kind of like the Wolverine version of you, where he's like the gruff, unfriendly type, and he's like, man, you're such a pussy. Like, I can't, because like your dad was like abusive to your mom, and Yan Prime just decided to go away for college and just like not deal with it.
Yeah.
Where Technician Yan stood up to his dad and kicked his dad out of the house. And so that like propelled him to be like this very like upfront, in your face, like very like confident person.
Okay.
That also doesn't take shit from people.
Right.
Whoa, that's so trippy. So in order to like, they're trying to say like fate wise, like this person, like in order to have this skill set would have a slightly different life than you. That's like wild that's how you create this altar. That it's like, it's not just you in time learning this skill. It's like literally like,
it's like, oh, I picked a different major in college. It's like, no. I kicked my dad's ass, and now here I am. I'm this job now.
Right. Exactly. That's
cool.
fucking
like
awesome.
that.
My dog died. So now I fucking know all about like how to fly an airplane. That's crazy.
No, yeah, and it goes to like some crazy parts where it's like, now I've got like Scientist Yan,
right,
and he's like, hey, well, you've got to get me the schematics for this thing. I can't believe that it's not like standard issue after this mission. And then you go talk to your higher ups, and they're like, how do you know about that mission? And he's like, well, my scientist alter told me about it. And they're like, that mission failed, and we only have like, you know, a couple of the like barest like sketches of the plans from that aborted mission. And so it's getting to this weird thing where it's like, okay, hold on, am I just creating branches of my personality, or am I also like kind of pulling like multiversal things into these altars? So there's a lot of like really interesting shit. And then you add like the Sims element of it to it, where it's like one of the first side missions is like, hey, Technician Yan, you seem annoyed. It's like, yeah, well, maybe it's because I've been fucking sleeping on the ground the whole time. Like, did you ever think of like making a bed for me? And so then it's like, it's a side mission. You don't have to do it, but like you have to take into consideration their wants and needs and their mental state, right? Because they have different personalities. There's one character who's got like a substance abuse problem,
right?
And he's also got like really low self-esteem, and he keeps fucking up, and like you have to decide how you want to deal with that. And the game is actually fucking me up on a personal level, because you realize very early on that every version of Yan is a fucking loser in some way.
Yeah.
And Yan Prime doesn't have any skills.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets like, it's like, okay, like Miner Yan gets, you know, he can do like mining really well, right? And Scientist Yan, obviously, he can do research.
Right.
All of these really cool bespoke skills. The character that you're controlling actively, like he can do stuff, but it's like the most base level shit. And so like a lot of times I've got like my other guys out like getting resources, and I'm sitting back at the base like making meals.
Right.
Because like that's kind of what I can do.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh man, I fucking suck. But the other versions of me kind of fucking suck too, because like as you see like their life paths, it's like Scientist Yan, he's actually a very successful scientist. He built like this really cool like tech company because of his breakthroughs. But he's a complete asshole when it comes to like interpersonal relationships. Doesn't even really like give a shit about them. And it's like, okay, so you suck too. And it's like they all suck in a different way.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
What does it look like? I want to be able to imagine that.
So when you're out of the base, you're controlling in behind the back third person. You're looking for resources. Is it like 3D style? Is it realistic shading? What do the characters look like? Like, is it realistic characters? It's realistic. It's not a great looking game. It's fine. It's got like some really like it is a fairly janky type game. Like it's got like some really like noticeable like graphical glitches and stuff that happen, and sometimes the game is not running all that great or whatever. But again, it's like an indie little game like at a budget price, and the gameplay loop is so addicting, and then the story is so fascinating that like it is just like a very, very enthralling game. Now, I am all hands on deck for Death Stranding 2 for the foreseeable future,
Right.
but Alters is like the next thing like on my plate afterwards.
That's cool.
Because it's also apparently not like a super long game.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm really digging what it does, and I'm actually really enjoying the Sims aspect of it. Like
That's cool.
That's what I want to know more about.
Yeah.
What tasks are you doing? Like, what are you passively doing?
I mean, you're making sure that like food is stocked.
So that's you. That's what you're doing, or you personally, or like you personally as your little character is doing things like that.
You can
right?
assign your altars to different things, but you want to be efficient about it. So like it behooves you to send miner Jan out to go mine, right? And technician Jan to like be either working on maintaining the base, or if you have you can set up like your fabricator to like make tools and gadgets and stuff like that, but it takes time.
Okay,
so you
cool.
can have him be on that while you're doing other stuff. Like you'll do a lot of the like exploration and scouting to like try to, find stuff and build like the infrastructure to like, that's another part of it too, is like, so you'll find like a mining vein. And so then you build like a mining pylon that will do the thing, but you have to hook it up to power. So then you have to build these relays to like daisy chain them back to the base. But then you can daisy chain off of those other connections to other mining pylons. So like the part of the game I'm at now, I've actually got 3 different mining areas set up that are all connected to the base. But I only have like 2 other altars that can go out. So I have to choose like, what do I want to get right now? Or for the day or whatever. And you also have to worry about like the radiation in the environment. So like you can't have them out constantly every day, all day, because they're gonna get radiation poisoning. If they get injured, you can have them continue to work, but it's going to be like way less efficient, and they might actually die. So it behooves you to just like take them off of their task and let them like walk it off, like rest for a couple days, like that type of thing. And then just also you're talking to them, you have conversations with them, and that changes like their mood and stuff like that. And they'll have like these special requests that if you fulfill them, it's gonna make them a lot easier to work with and stuff like that. It is a very, very cool game.
The only game I've ever played that has that kind of gameplay loop to it was No Man's Sky. But The Sims isn't like that, is it? Like where you're like reaching a goal. You're just sort of like, maybe it's like money, you can buy more stuff. There's no like that like interdepartmental like thing of like No Man's Sky where like you're getting the gems and the gems do this and then they go to this and they do this. Like The Sims isn't like that, is it? It's just about money,
that's
right?
why I said this is like The Sims combined with like a survival game.
Right.
Okay, cool. But in The Sims, you just get fucking money and you're just like, now I buy a new thing, right? That's all that there is to it. It's not like you can't get a pool unless you get a thing.
It's mostly like time management and whatever.
Managing relationships and
wants, and jobs and stuff like that. It's basically like whatever your goal for that character is, trying to do it before
Nurture
they die.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That game sounds fucking the altars.
The altars. Yeah.
The altars.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very highly recommend.
It seems really in depth for what you're saying. Like as a small indie game, like that seems like you have a lot of control over what they do, and like that's really cool.
Yeah. And so far, I've only seen a handful of them, but like I've seen like the potential like other altars that I can eventually make, and it's like, holy shit, like this is gonna get like really interesting, because there's also the element of like, I'm fucking really pissed off that you created me. You're in this desperate situation, and like literally like now it's like I have to do what you say or we all die. Like that's really fucked up, man. And it's like, I know, but like I don't know what else to do. Like
yeah.
Do you think it's gonna go places in the story that like it gets real fucked up and deep, or is it just like the implication of it? Is it just sort of dystopian, and that's kind of like you're led to like cool conclusions?
No, I think it's going to go to some really weird and possibly dark places, because like even like right out of the gate, like one of the first things you can ask like your boss is like, hey, what happens to my altars like when we get home? And they're like, I don't know. like because technically this is an illegal thing. So but we only gave you the tools to do it. You made the choice. So like, and they're like, it'd be really great if you brought back some of that rare material that we need. Like it'll really help us smooth things over with the whole altars thing when you get back.
Yeah.
Like, so there's like a lot of like corporate fuckery in addition to, just like the ethics and the enormity of like creating these copies of yourself that are very different from you and have different motivations and different reactions to this. Like scientist Jan is like, when he wakes up, he's like, oh shit, how much of it did you find? Because like he automatically does the calculations of the only reason that I could be standing in front of another version of myself is if this and this happened. And he's like very cool with the whole thing. He's like, oh wow, okay, cool. I want to see like how this happened. Where some of the others are like, fuck you, like I'm not doing shit for you.
Right.
Like,
they're like personas. Honestly, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to getting deeper into it and seeing what some of the others do. And then and there is a possibility of like altars dying, and I don't know if you can just replace them with another of that type.
Do you think you're gonna like get opportunities to fucking sacrifice them because it's
Probably.
called the altars?
I'm sure at some point there's going to be a thing like you got to send one person to go do this, or we're all dead, but they're going to die. Yeah. I can totally see that happening. It feels like that type of game.
Are altars what people with DID call their thing? Is that not a thing?
I don't know what DID is.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm trying to find themes in the game.
Yeah, you're the smart one.
I really don't think we should be saying that on places where other people could hear it. That I'm the smart one.
Yeah,
okay.
I really don't. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's fair.
That sounds dope. I want to see the style. I can't really imagine it, but like, I want to play that game so bad.
Yeah, it's cool. Sounds cool.
I had a dream style. I wanted it to be like kind of chunky, like a little bit cartoony, 3D. That was what it was in my head.
Oh no, very much not that.
Like a painterly kind of. That's what I wanted.
I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. I need dinner, and it is late. Mike, thank you for being on the show as always. Good luck in Edinburgh.
Nope. Knock on wood. Nope. You don't say that. Say break a leg.
Oh, God, fuck off.
Do it. Knock on wood, man. Like, serious. I don't know.
I have no wood to knock on.
You can find wood in your local, like you can ask a local.
Do you want him to go to a hardware store and find wood for him to knock on? You just ask somebody where wood is. They'll tell you where it's at.
Text me first thing tomorrow morning. Say, no, Julian, really. Like, go to Home Depot right now.
Have you found any wood yet? Like, I'm really concerned about it.
But like, actually, I am going to text you to make sure you do knock on wood. Yeah. Like, I am going to do that. You don't have to go to Home Depot, but like, I am. Yeah. I am with 100% certainty. Just like make sure. Break a leg. Say break a leg is what we said.
Break a leg, you motherfucker.
Thank you. That's nicer. I liked it. Thank you.
I will have the link for Softlock in the show notes.
You can drop the YouTube. We are probably going to put it on YouTube. You can drop, like, we have the trailer up on YouTube. So we're likely going to put it out just for free on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So that is like, because we just want everybody to get it. That's our plan right now. If I know something different, and so our trailer is up on a YouTube channel, but if it goes there, it'll go there. We want people to fucking know about this. Nobody does anything about anything on the planet ever. Think about if you've done anything different ever about anything ever. It's probably the answer is no. So we want people to see the movie.
I didn't even really have to think very hard. No.
Yeah, right. I haven't.
Yeah,
I made the movie and I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
No.
Why should I?
Yeah.
But either way.
Well, especially because like it's like a drop in a bucket compared to like what every corporation in the world does. So
100%. I'm gonna start burning styrofoam, throwing it at the sun, seeing when I can hit it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not kidding either. It's not fucking changing my lifestyle for anyone.
Bring back,
Just writing down what happened, man.
bring
that's
back
all I'm doing.
aerosol. That's what I say.
Bring back aerosol.
Bring it back.
Remember how we ripped a hole in the ozone because
Yeah.
your farts needed to smell a little bit less worse
Right.
in the bathroom?
That's what I mean.
And there already exist other ways to do that?
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. I want
cares?
aerosol. I want to be using paintball guns to do everything. I want just like tanks and tanks.
Justin, where can they find you on the internet, bud?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Tyrone
Styrofoam's better
Swift.
than paper cups. I don't care what anybody says. It's better. It's better to hold. So why not? I'm just writing down that it happened this way.
At Tyrone Swift TV on YouTube.com. That's where you can watch things and stuff. I will stream eventually again. I just have to find a life balance at this point.
You can find me on Blue Sky. Just search for Julian Titus. The show is on Twitter at Stage Select Pod. Thanks as always to the wonderful Megan McDuffie for our theme song and interstitial tracks.
Wait, you have a Patreon. Can I actually plug it because I want to be on it? You guys are thinking of having guests on the ones where you watch movies?
Yeah.
That I absolutely want to do that.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll hit you up.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
We can watch. Have you ever seen the Seven Samurai?
No, but we'll be doing like
You ever seen
we'll
Tech
get you
War?
for like something because it's.
You ever seen Tech War?
No.
Tech War is
not-
good.
Okay, but it's me and Justin like recommending stuff to each other, and then we'll get guests to be on. Like we're probably gonna have John Gholson on the next one because he was at.
Listen, I don't care. I don't care when. I'm just saying. I didn't know that was a guest thing. I want to watch movies with you guys.
Well, you don't watch it with us. You watch it separately, and then we talk about
it's
it.
a club. I know the concept.
Okay.
I want to be movie friends.
Thanks
Not
to friend of
now.
the show, John Gholson.
But you have a
for-
Patreon. You know, tell people to go to Patreon.
Yeah, we plug the Patreon every episode, man.
But I'm saying, when do we watch movies?
We do it every month.
Yeah, I know.
God damn it. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. Special thanks to Mike Fallek.
Of course.
We've been the Stage Select. Finally signing off. Goodbye.
3 hours is nothing.
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.